welcome to Twin Flames Between Worlds podcast. My name is Tabitha.
And I'm Liesl.
And hi, welcome to our Male's Guide to A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas.
Woo!
Welcome back. Yeah, so it's not a deep dive. Like I said, we have our male's perspective. My father, Padre, my rock, here today.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so that's where my hi phrase came from. So yeah, before we get into the episode, I just want to say explicit warning, because to both of our dismays, but also at this point, we're just numb to this. My father and we will be talking about sex. So please be wary of little listening ears and gore. We'll be talking about that as well. So
Yes.
just wary of that. Or if you don't care, right on.
Good for you.
Also, before we begin, I just want to say our sponsorship for this week is Molly Bees. Once again, these gourmet cookies bring creative, unique cookies straight to your pantry. No cookie shop required. With bold, unforgettable flavors, they're the ultimate treat for any occasion. Just enjoy them at our exclusive discount of 10% with any product with the promo code TFBW podcast. That's Twin Flames Between Worlds podcast shortened. And go to mollybees.com for that. And we also have it on Instagram, so if you need to.
Yes. We have the link everywhere.
And I did also for my dad, if he wants to get these, there are 3 flavors that I wanted to highlight this week. The first one is a hot mess flavor, which is mango, white chocolate, and a topping of hot Cheetos for spicy sweet crunch.
Why do I actually kind of want that one? Probably
That's-
because I like hot Cheetos.
Do you like hot Cheetos, Daddy?
Oh yeah, they're good. They're not that the flaming hot ones. You mean?
Mhm.
They're not that hot.
I don't know how I would combine hot Cheetos with mango, though.
The white chocolate?
Yeah, that might be a
Spicy.
contrast.
Maybe, you never know. It's probably good.
Well, it may be all right.
Right. And then we got a pina colada flavor, which is white chocolate, coconut, and fruity pebbles for a tropical escape.
That sounds pretty good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then Royally Awesome, white and milk chocolate, coconut, macadamia nuts, and spiced rum.
That's yours.
We know I love a good rum, but it's only rum and Coke. I can't have it in a cookie. And especially not with coconut. But yes, that is our sponsor for this week. And please wait until the end for more of our fun facts about this wonderful sponsorship. But without further ado, yes, Dad, how excited are you to be here to talk about part 2 of this book?
Oh, I'm excited. It went really well. So
He is so excited he actually wore like a nice polo to this event. Like...
yeah, this is my excited look. Yes.
And it's like I knew it right away. I was like, "Yep, no, he's excited for this."
Well, it's better than a white T-shirt, I guess. That's just...
The white t-shirt with the stains on it.
Well, that one don't have too many stains on it. That really ain't my work shirt. Yeah.
But yes, Rodney is here today, and so we will just hop right into this guy's reaction. And this is up from chapter 37 to the end of the book. So it's like after their initial first sex scene, after Urid, and then all the way up.
So the rest of the sex.
More of it.
Well, yeah, you stopped at kind of a good place, I guess. Yeah.
I stopped at a perfect place, actually.
Not
Actually.
for graphic audio, but...
And not for the graphic audio, for sure.
Yeah.
So, just like we do every time we start these sort of episodes, we want to ask, what was your overall reaction to this second part of the book? Like, did you have any favorite moments or least favorite moments that you wanted to talk about?
Well, yeah, there was a little bit more action in this one, I think, than the first part of the book, per se. I liked it when they went to get up the mountain, so...
Oh, you mean during the blood rite?
Yeah, that was pretty badass with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure at the end I was kind of getting pissed because I thought everybody was going to die, and I'm like, oh, don't tell me you're going to kill everybody,
Daddy was worried about that, for sure.
I kind of got pissed about that, because I was like, oh, no, don't tell me they're all going to kill them off.
Right. That would be a terrible ending.
Yeah, it would.
Well, right, yeah. Farrah dies, the baby dies, and then Reese goes, and then, yeah.
They got to run the night court somehow without probably the 3 most powerful people in the world.
Yeah.
My goodness. Was there like a least favorite moment? Or was it all pretty good?
Well, it went kind of quick because it seemed like it ramped up. So I didn't really think there was a least part I didn't like about it. No.
Because I was trying to think of one too, and I don't think I have one.
Other than I was getting pissed that I didn't want him to die, so.
Yeah.
I think that's true. I didn't really have a least favorite either.
It was like so ramped.
Yeah, pretty good the whole way.
So to start off, I think also not only was this, and we'll bring it up a little bit later, but kind of the initial evolution and the training of these girls together, right? Because it's like, I wanted to know what you thought of, and again, just for our listeners, there's a lot to unpack here. So again, we're going to be missing stuff, but like we're trying our hardest to incorporate everything, but also like just the important bits, because it's like, if you want the deep dive, we obviously have that, but for Dad, it's kind of like we're trying to go through these. So I wanted to know what you thought about like the mind stilling techniques and like the breathing, especially since you listen to graphic audio.
Yeah, that was pretty cool how they did that. But I mean, as far as being a Illyrian warrior, you know, a lot of it is, you know, how do you get your breathing down, your techniques, and how you handle a sword, or and little things like that. But yeah, they were, you know, Cassian, well, even Az at the end, kind of think, you know, was helping them because they have more people get involved. So, but they were good teachers. Let's put it that way.
Well, and it wasn't just, I think what I really liked about the Illyrian, like, well, the Valkyrie stuff. Let's not forget the Valkyrie stuff. They're very separate. I liked how it wasn't just the girls. Because at first, when I read this, I thought it was just going to be Gwen, Emery, and Nesta, really. But then the other priestesses, like, they also, like, especially even at the end, were like a unit.
Right,
like a whole unit.
Right.
So it's like more of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but you figure Nesta went from drinking and doing all kinds of nothing, but then
boring.
To working out, and you know, you go from nothing to start working out. I mean, it takes a lot out of you. So
it kind of is difficult to think about sometimes how far she progressed from the start of the book to the end of the book.
Oh, she was a badass at the end.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, I'd take her over any of them other guys. I tell you that. I'd rather have her by my side. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, for sure. I mean, as also, we just really liked the mind stilling and the breathing thing. Because especially when I read this back in school, that was something that Lynn, my old theater director, used to teach us all the time.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was like getting brought up in a book, something that I actively was actually doing in my life, I was like, no, I know what this is.
Oh, I've done that.
Like, I know what this is. All right.
Right.
And then this is like kind of a small moment, but I thought it was important for the little times that Lucian does exist in this second part. I think what was kind of the overall is like, what did you think about Lucian being scared of Nesta? Because it's almost like when they first start training that not just Lucian, but specifically just him in this scene when she was like punching the what is it? God, the tree?
Yeah, like the wooden stump.
Yeah.
Practice dummy.
And that like it was like decaying on the inside, like, and he's like, what the fuck did you do?
It burned from the inside out.
Right.
It turned to dust.
Well, from the last time he's seen her till now, till the next time he's seen her, she had changed a bunch. A lot. And if I was him, I would have been scared of her too. I'm like, yeah, maybe I don't want to mess with you, you know?
But like scared and she's a hot woman way, or like scared just like, okay, I just need to be careful with her?
Well, I was scared that she could take your head off at any time, you know?
Oh, for sure.
So I think
save us all.
He's seen her transpire into something different, way different than what he's seen the last time. So yeah, he had a right to be scared, I guess. So
yes, he's like mother save us all.
the couple times he actually did a cameo, I remember. Since Dad, again, like I said, listened to the graphic audio, I will never forget the fact that Gabriel Michael, who is voices Lucian, just said, "Oh yeah, I did those lines when I was in Hawaii." I'm like,
sent them in.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
So casual. Okay, Gabe. And then, we jump back to the Moon Palace, and we have a giant entrance from Helion. Helion coming in on his Pegasus and the chariot. And,
the Pegasi.
Sorry, the single Pegasi, because he wasn't allowed to bring multiple.
Yeah.
And he's there to see the mask and help see if he can, like, ward the mask.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because if we remember, Nesta had been able to get to it, even though it was already warded by Rhys.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think of Helion being there? Helion saying, like, I've never, like, seen this, I didn't know this existed, kind of thing. And then also teaching Nesta how to ward it. And then Nesta saying that she doesn't want to know how to undo it.
Right. Well, she had no clue on what would happen or what was going on with it when she had really the power it had. So
I think it was also, though, that she liked it too much. That she's like, no, please, like, get this away from me.
Because when she wore the mask, she didn't have to worry about breathing. She couldn't feel anything. It was, like, a very powerful thing. So she's like, no, don't give me the power to undo the wards because it will be too tempting.
Right. Well, then they said, didn't they, that once you put the mask on, you couldn't take it off? She took it off.
Mm-hmm.
They did say that, but then I think Amryn clarified because the fact that she's made because she can use it, the effect doesn't affect her like that.
Which which they didn't think was a thing.
But then it happens.
Well, they didn't know. I don't think it.
No one, yeah.
No one really knew about it. But.
My whole thing about the Helion thing was more also, like, throughout these entire books, this is book 5. This is the first time a High Lord is being invited because it's so serious. Because they could have just asked him, you know, like Rhys could have winnowed to Helion's court and been like, hey, yo, this is what's going on. Like, he got invited to the Night Court. The first person, like the first outsider High Lord to be invited. I was like, it was a very political statement too, not just the fact that he's friends.
True. That's true.
Well, right, and I think and my take on it, he wanted to see if they really had it and what it was, you know.
It seems like it was very casual, though, in the sense of, if we think of how it was when Rhys went to Tarquin in the Summer Court. That
it was a whole buffet, like...
It was like all like super like extravagant
formal.
And like, welcome to the Summer Court kind of thing, versus Helion's just like, what's up, bitches?
Right. They might have been surprised to see him too. They didn't maybe not think he was going to come.
Honestly, I think the reason Rhys asked him to come was actually to ask about Feyre.
I think he did end up asking.
Because the thing is, I mean, we know that he ended up asking, but I think the reason he wanted him to come personally was for him to like beg him for help.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And show
and also you take a chance of everybody knowing, you know, that she's pregnant too.
No, because you're right, Dad. It's also a sign of trust.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm allowing you to be here because it was before they went, because the public announcing that she was pregnant was all the way into the Court of Nightmares when we go like chapters down. So he's figuring it out way earlier.
Yeah, and that's another level of trust.
Yeah, so he's showing a level of trust. He's saying, I'm welcoming you into my home now. Please save my wife, or find a way to save her.
Yes, if you can save the babe, great. But like, save my.
So yeah, it's like the reason I brought that up was because I feel like it had more to do with that than like just asking him about this power. Like, I think it was a cover.
Yeah, probably. And then, so a little bit later, Cassian takes Nesta to this blacksmith out in the countryside outside of Valaris, which, first of all, that's our first time outside of like Valaris in like a countryside kind of vibe. But basically, at this blacksmith, you know, Nesta learns about how weapons are made and even makes some weapons herself, which we later find out that she made 3 blades. And turns out they are made items now. Like they are strong, they're powerful, and they're dangerous. So what did you think about that, like of her working through and like making these swords and then having it be like basically a new dread trove?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny when he said, well, come with me and we're going to go to this, you know, blacksmith place. It's like, what? And then, then that guy freaks out because he don't know what the hell's going on. I think he knew who she was, but he wasn't sure after she touched and helped to make the knives and actually touched them. Mm-hmm. And he freaked out because the things were possessed, basically.
I mean, yeah.
Basically. He didn't want them. He didn't even want them, you know.
He's like dumping them in Rhys's lap of like, here, take them.
Right, yeah. I don't want these. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was initially fun because it was kind of like the first normal person she's interacting with. Mm-hmm. It showed like it's starting her growth that she can actually be a fucking human being and talk to people in a nice manner.
It surprised Cassian that she was nice.
Right. Well, we don't know. That guy might have moved his whole shop since she was in there. They never said, but...
He shut down his shop. He is going into baking now. He said, fuck that.
Yeah.
Not gonna make swords anymore.
Yeah, I don't need none of this shit. So
he said, don't touch any of my fucking tins.
Don't touch my bread.
Don't touch it's gonna get possessed.
Yeah, because he didn't know what the hell was going on. So
honestly, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I just had a thought. Doesn't that make Devlin's thing sound more actually sound? Mm-hmm. Like the fact that Lord Devlin's like, don't let the women touch the blades. They're gonna get possessed by like witch magic. Honestly, he doesn't sound that fucking crazy right now.
No. I mean, to be fair, like Devlin was talking about it like, well, if they're bleeding, then it's like terrible. So he connected it to that misogynistic ideal. But at the same time, like the whole like, don't let the women touch the swords. That is
so. Yeah, what was his thinking on that? Yeah, he didn't know.
I wonder if that was founded in a little bit of truth, because like stereotypes, regardless of like how you feel about them. It's like, I don't even know if like I do not want to touch it with 10-foot pole, but like, okay, let's farm people. We're farm people. Let's make fun of ourselves. Like the stereotype that like farm people are dumb and, you know, they can't read. sometimes it's fucking true, but not universally.
Right.
So it's like sometimes stereotypes are kind of founded in a sort of truth. So I'm wondering like if that was like something passed down in the Illyrian generations.
Well, Devlin was a man. His thinking of a woman was, she had her place, and it wasn't on the battlefield, So that was his idea.
But yes, the new Dread Trove,
which is kind of wild.
I'm just gonna say, reading this the first time, I was like, okay, finding the Trove items at all was kind of cool. But the fact that not only by the end of this, they have all the Trove items and those two, they have 5 fucking cauldron made items. How can he not be High King at this point?
Because they're Nestas.
Well, right. She has more power over him than he does. So does that make her more powerful than him?
That I think makes her High Lady.
I would say yes.
So Psyche, it's actually going to be Cassian and Nesta as High King and Queen.
Can you imagine?
It'd be wild. Speaking of High King, so basically the people in the room like talking about the sword are Rhys, Cassian, Azriel, and Amren. And the 4 of them start talking about if Rhys becomes High King. And Amren, well, it was Amren, right? Amren, like, does another one of her lore dumps, like she always does.
Monologues.
And she starts monologuing about the High King that once ruled over Prythian and before all the courts were separated. So first of all, what did you think, like, overall of that whole lore dump of there being a High King like that?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting on she had to say about that, but I don't know. That's what I said before, she's still the High King or High Lord, when Nesta has all the stuff. I don't know.
Well, I think like the importance of the story is not only the fact that we're getting more Prythian history, obviously, but I think it's the fact that, especially when Amren talks about it, she talks about, like, the High King era as, like, the golden age of Prythian.
Mm-hmm. Like, that was the best.
Like the old times. Yeah, the olden times, yeah.
And she even, like, says that it seems like before was terrible, and then, like, the afterward was just as bad. She talks about, like, the High Lord period being, like, because she's, like, 15,000 years old. Like, she thinks that this is kind of just a bad blip in time.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
I think she does make an interesting point about the blacksmith and like the new she's like, because Amren's so big into fate and shit, so she's like, well, why did the swords come to Nesta instead of you? Like, he could have brought them to the palace like the House of Wind, but no, he brought them to you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that could be misconstrued as like coincidence. Mm-hmm. It's a fantasy book. There's no coincidence.
Yeah, that's true, especially not with SJM.
Well, but Rhys pretty much, how do you want to say, was he was their High King, or the ruler of the city,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he was going to take him to them and see what he could do.
I think it's just interesting that this trajectory went from like the first 3 books wanting not to have Hybern didn't want to be High King. He just wanted to rule everything and destroy humans. I just love how it's like they're fighting against tyranny, and then now they're suggesting monarchy, but like good monarchy.
Yeah. I mean,
well, yeah, somebody in power that wasn't going to kill everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did make a lot of like good points of like, yeah, you have connections with Tarquin and Helion and the other High Lords, and the others would fall in line if you got supported by a couple of the other High Lords. But I wonder, this might be a small thing, but I wonder if you had any thoughts on what Amren said at the end of like, well, if you don't take this chance now, someone else will.
Well, yeah, that goes back to me saying, when they invited Helion over there, that kind of looked like, okay, well, why'd they invite him over there to their own city, and then really show that your next in line is, is in Farrah's belly, basically. You're next in line,
What a way, Daddy, you are my father. What a way to backwards say that.
But I'm just saying, that to me, that's maybe why she said that, what's going on here.
I'm sorry, Daddy. I love you so much. You just said that really much. You said that a lot like me.
Really much like me.
Oh my God, shut up.
So that would be my take on that. I think she, but, Rhys seen some of Nesta's power already and is kind of scared.
Honestly, I think, 2 thoughts before we continue. Nesta is the new Amren. Like the power vacuum that Amren had of being like the scary monster that like Rhys would bring out. That's her now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And my second part about the High King thing, which like obviously I'll bring up probably at the end, is kind of like leading to like the new this new world in the next like few books, I'm assuming. Because when they tell the story, they said that the High King was betrayed by his queen and his first general, like his best friend. Now, I'm not trying to say that that's necessarily going to happen, but it's
Cassian.
which never. But that doesn't necessarily mean Cassian.
That's true.
That could mean, because again, it doesn't have to be a love thing. It could be like Feyre and Nesta or something. It's just the fact that in fantasy, mostly history kind of repeats itself, or at least warns against a future conflict. And so the fact that that's the reason that the High King was abolished gave me major pause. I was like, that doesn't bode well.
Or we wonder if that's actually the story of like if it actually was the general and wife, or if there was some other reason,
or if history was rewritten to where it made, because I don't know what it is about like fantasy writing, but fantasy writing always tends to demonize the women.
Typically,
when really they weren't doing anything wrong.
It's like Game of Thrones, you know.
Oh,
nobody stayed in power very long.
That's true. If you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Well, that doesn't seem fun.
No.
So he was really, Azrael or Cassian wasn't he second in line anyway, really.
I feel like if anyone, it would be more just blood related, but also, again, I think everyone fucking forgets that it's not about blood.
That's true.
They literally SJM wrote that. She's like, the High Lord thing does not pass to the like next in line. It
Sometimes
literally
it jumps generations. Sometimes it skips out of the bloodline entirely.
Well, yeah.
So like the last thing that they discussed during that meeting is actually of whether or not to tell Nesta about the blades. And so that has a falling out where Cassian accidentally lets it slip that they weren't going to tell her about the blades, and Nesta gets pissed. So she makes it all the way down.
Yeah, makes it down the stairs.
Which props to her on that, but she did it in anger. She goes to Amren's apartment because she's going to tear into her. Finds Amren and Varian entwined. And then basically has at Amren. And basically is like, why the fuck did you do this? Why did you vote against me? Why are you making choices for me? And so bringing in Feyre as well. Varian went to get Feyre. And that Nesta, of course, blows up at her too, of like saying, hey, that babe in your stomach is going to kill you because it has wings. And then, so like, what did you think of like that whole confrontation between the two?
That was, and she didn't know that. And I think Reese really got pissed about that she told her.
Yeah.
But I think Feyre was, thanking her that she told her. Yeah. And then them touching the knives, that was funny. Don't touch them. And then they leave the room and they open up the box and start touching them. So that was pretty funny. Of course, guys are going to do that anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
Tell them not to touch something, they'll touch it.
Yeah, they're going to touch it.
They may be 500-year-olds, but they're still men. Yeah, they're still men.
Yeah. So I think Reese, he was wanting to kill her after that, I think. Or pretty close to it.
But at that point, he should have told her. He should have been the first one to tell her so that she didn't have to hear it from somebody else.
That was like 2 months away from the Labor Day, the day of birth.
Right. So I think that at that point, I think Nesta was, she's, getting to be more on her own, I think, too, and standing up for herself more, I think.
I think Reese saw, like, his own self and, like, that he should have told her and got mad at himself, but then also was trying to get mad at someone other than him.
How dare you tell her what she should know?
Right.
Well, Amren wasn't happy either.
I know. She's like, don't you dare.
Amren was pissed.
Yeah, well, I think, and his side, I don't think he wanted her to worry, about anything, So, but I think at that point, she needed to know, So.
Well, because stress on a baby can kill it.
That's true. Yeah. But it's like, well, was she more stressed then at suddenly finding out that she might die?
Probably.
So it's like, that's worse.
I don't know if she was or not. It don't sound like to me. I think she was thankful that somebody said something, I don't think she really was.
It's almost like she seemed like something was wrong, but like she didn't really know, like she couldn't put a finger on it.
Right.
And she couldn't figure out why Reese was acting weird.
I just love that part where she's like, well, Ma just said it was going to be a little rough. I was like, yeah. A little bit.
Almost fatal,
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yes, like you said, Reese was pissed. And so Cassian took Nesta out of the city, took
lake trip,
hiking trip. The lake is the end point. You need to do the journey first.
The punishment.
The punishment first. But yeah, so Cassian basically takes Nesta hiking up in the mountains, and it's a 5-day trip, and they're going on foot completely, no like flying or anything like that. Backpacking. Well, technically Nesta's doing the backpacking because Cassian's not carrying any of it.
The pack mule.
But basically it's 5 days of silence where Nesta's stuck in her head and Cassian's trying to figure out how to fix this. So what did you think of this hiking trip?
Well, to me, I was thinking that he wanted to get her out of the city because he didn't know what the hell Reese was going to do. Because he knew Reese was dead.
Yeah.
So, and they know each other better than anybody. So I think at that point, I think he was just trying to get hell out of Dodge. Say, hey, we got to go, you know?
Yeah, because Nesta was already running. She's like, oh shit, I just said that.
Oh, she knew that he was coming after her. Like, she could feel that in the earth.
So at that point, I think, yeah, that's why, I think, yeah.
I just love how that part, like, she did no fight. Literally just gets yoinked up by him, and then silence for fucking days. I mean, silence on her end, not on his end.
Yeah.
But
he also doesn't talk to her much either. Because he's like, well, she'll talk when she'll talk. But
and he's pissed at her.
He is.
Obviously, yeah.
Because even though, like, this book has been about his relationship with Nesta for the most part, he's still Feyre's friend. He's still, like, upset.
Well, and maybe this is Dad's because the only one in a relationship. Tear. Like, I like it in books where, like, or in on the inverse, I really don't like it when they make it seem like such a perfect relationship. Like, I'm not gonna get mad at anything she does or anything he does. You know, in books, like, there's sometimes they just do that where, like, even if they do get in a fight, it's like, oh, but you had your reasons. Like, no, sometimes people just say shitty things and do a shitty thing, and
you can still love them while being pissed at them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have a problem with the king of opening my mouth at times. So yeah, and not saying the right thing, you know.
That sounds like a man who's been married for a long time.
Well, we just talked about that yesterday. Yeah, it's going up on 30 years. So yeah,
I feel like I gotta clap whenever it's 30. Like,
anytime it's a decade.
Yeah, it's coming up on that. So
congratulations.
But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of take and give. So.
But I appreciate the anger. I appreciate like I do want you to get better, but like I'm still going to be pissed at you for doing a shitty thing to your sister. And then eventually.
Yeah, and there's shit going to happen, you know, like that. You know, if you love somebody, that you know that's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, what do you think of the fact that when we were in Nesta's POV, she was basically saying, if I fell and broke my neck, maybe the world would be so much better. Like, she's having all these, like...
suicidal thoughts, yeah.
Yeah, and the, like, self-deprecating thoughts. Like, what do you think of her being basically like, oh, I don't want to exist anymore?
Yeah, she was going through a time of that, yeah. So, it's not the right way to be, but I think that's how she was feeling.
Dad doesn't really have many thoughts about, like... I feel like, I will say, like, back home, like, talking about suicide is kind of like politics. We don't talk about it, somehow. Which I'm not saying that that's like I feel like we should be more open about it, because it is something that happens a lot. But, like, I will say, back in Indiana, sometimes that shit's kind of like Vegas. You don't talk about it.
That's wild.
Which is literally the antithesis of what you're supposed to do in those occasions.
Yeah.
But...
Well, we were always, I'm going to be, 57? You was always taught, you know, just to go on. Don't worry about shit, just go on, keep it out of your mind, you know, do something to keep it out of your mind or something like that. Oh, there's times when they get rough. It just depends on who you are, and when the times get tough, you just keep going, you get through it.
Raising a different generation.
Well, and some people, they need help, you know, they can't get through it on their own, you know, so, and that's all right, you know. In a society when we grew up, you know, you need to go somebody to talk to why do I need to do that? I can handle it on my own. Well, you know, some people can't,
not always.
So
yeah,
but you just go do fun stuff. That's what I do.
Go to the titty club.
Well, hey, if you gotta get your mind off stuff, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I don't just go to the titty club.
Dang. Well, they call it the titty bar.
Titty bar?
Gentleman's club.
Gentleman's club.
It's a gentleman's
titty bar.
club.
A gentleman's club is where you can actually eat at the titty bar. A normal titty bar has no food.
You're not supposed to be focusing on food there.
It's crazy. Continue.
So I think she got in her mind, the more she, working through it, so.
Mm-hmm.
But after 5 days of silence and being stuck in her head with those kind of thoughts, they finally make it to the lake. And then, Cassian is waiting for her to, just start screaming. And instead, she, just falls to her knees and starts crying. And, finally breaks down and lets out all of her emotions. And he has no idea what to do with that. So here's part of this question. What do you think about, that breakdown and how Cassian doesn't comfort her by, trying to fix it right away? He just lets her talk. He just lets her cry. And then he shares his own story. What do you think about that?
Well, I think at that point he's seen, and everybody has a break, he's seen her at her most vulnerable state. So then he just, as a guy, you just kind of step back and just let everything come out, and he did that. So, and then he got some of his story in too about what was happening to him.
His mom,
I think she was at that point, that breaking point. So
she needed it.
Yeah.
She was doing everything out of anger because she thought that was a way to outsource it, but then it's that wasn't cutting it, and it was just because that's not a healthy way to do it. So it was the actual healthy way that just breaking down and crying. I think honestly, especially with the graphic audio, I'm not gonna lie, but the the idea of he's okay, come on, he's waiting for her to yell. And then she's just and then he's I don't know what to do with that.
I can take fighting and arguing any day, but crying?
He had no idea. I don't think he sounded more like a man.
Well, right. And when they had problems, they fought it out.
Yeah.
That was their release. That was their way of getting, out.
Probably the most what is this heteronormative moment that this book has, where it's the men fight it out, and then the girls are crying together.
And then the guys don't know what to do about that.
Yeah. Well, what have I always told you? There's two things I don't do. What is it?
Well, feelings and drama.
Yeah, it's two things I don't do. Feelings and drama. Yeah. But I do them. You see that, though.
Oh, obviously.
I say that.
We pretend, but...
Wait until we get to the awkward, sex talk, and then you'll get the, you'll feel some emotions then. Of embarrassment and...
But I think getting back to him, I don't think he knew what to do. He's like, oh, shit, this is... This is worse than I thought it,
Yeah. I think that cemented for him, that she actually was fucked up.
Yeah.
In the head, of what she was thinking about herself. That scene was just so great. And, I think that was, her rock bottom. Her telling Feyre that was kind of, the hitting point of, when they always say that in the movies, where it's okay, well, now you've hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up.
Mm-hmm. After you cry a bit first.
And get held in a big 6'5" Illyrian's arms by the side of a beautiful lake.
That sounds pretty good. That's rock bottom? Okay.
Yeah, there's no place but up then. So
I think that's a good phrase, though, because of doing something that you feel was probably the worst thing you've done, at least so far, and then because you you dug and dug and dug your own grave, and then you're there, and it's well, shit, I gotta claw my way back up.
I've always thought of rock bottom being water related, but that's besides the point. You're sinking and you're drowning, and then you hit rock bottom. The only way is to push back up and go back to the surface.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess mine is harder to climb.
Well, I don't think Nesta realized that sisters and brothers and everybody, that dig she gave her, pretty big. So.
Well, and to be fair, they did not have a good role model for how siblings were supposed to operate.
Yeah.
Well, no, they lost mom. Kind of dad's the enforcer. Mom's the one that does the feelings and everything else. So it's they didn't have a mom. They lost her at a young age. So.
And also, she wasn't great either.
No, I said she wasn't the best at that time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And her feelings and how she handled everything.
She just didn't.
You're just gonna marry a prince. Go whore around and find a prince.
Is that how you find princes? Anyway, at least okay. So then the next part, staying true to what Cassian knows of his training, is okay. You know what? Get up. We're gonna train. Because that's how we're going to get through this. That's how you're going to get through this. He gives her his own sword. His own sword off his
big
back.
Illyrian one.
An actual real one with a blade. And then he gives it to her and it's okay, do this combo, do this position, do the 8-pointed star, show me. And she does it. And then it's good, again. And then in her mind, she starts going oh, okay, so I can only go up from here, we're talking about. And then she says was it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We've heard it before obviously, but she basically starts saying to herself again of like, never again. Like, I'm never gonna like do that again. I'm gonna make it up to Feyre. Things are gonna be better.
I'm never gonna be helpless again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because she is swinging this giant ass sword. But basically, yes. What do you think of like that? Of like Cassian being like, okay, well, we're gonna get out of this red. You're gonna train. Show me how to do it.
Well, and I think, like I said before, that was their way of handling things and getting out of that funk, per se.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then, yeah, kudos to her for handling that sword. So, yeah.
Which she did that too.
Oh, dear God. Well, I think what was cool about it was this whole last part of the book was very cinematic, and especially with the part ending, like the part, and then part 3 starts Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the women started, and out of all the people you'd think that like would go to physical, I don't want to say physical violence because it's not necessarily violence, but like physical fitness and or like learning warrior techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Out of everybody in Valaris, who would have thought that the priestesses from under the cute mountain there would be like hidden badasses?
Right.
It just like was the beginning of her like warrior arc.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like a very epic moment because it was like with all the feelings and because like I feel like people think of magic as such an emotional thing, but fighting is as well.
Mm-hmm.
Your emotions can either hinder you or they can help you.
Right.
You're in battle. So I appreciated that part end because you know how much I love my parts.
Yes.
Book sections? I don't really know how else to say that.
I guess so. Like, no, I think parts works.
Well, if anybody come up against them, they were going to be surprised.
Oh,
They were,
yeah.
You know, the guys, oh, gee, we got 3 girls here. Woo. And then they take their head off, you know, so.
Yeah. Or knife them in the balls repeatedly. How'd you feel about that one?
That was funny. Yeah.
But that's early. But speaking of swordplay, I have pushed this off at least for a few minutes, a few short moments. I gave you an hour. The sex, like I just have to get to like the sex of this part. The most famous scene from this novel that is referenced consistently, probably too much, and also like people DMing John Vertullo to get him to say this.
Poor man.
It's the sex scene when it's after Helion shows up, and it's the big long sex scene. It just, they had sex, and then it just goes from like 0 to 100 real fast. It's like, it's super sexual. It's like, let me watch you do stuff to yourself, and then like, I'll just watch, and like, you can't do anything, and then look at him looking away. You're fine. You're good, Daddy. And then with the epic line of put your hands on the headboard.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of that scene?
Well, I think it was, how you want to say it, pretty raw and intense. Yeah.
10 out of 10. No notes.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was, yeah.
What was it like to read? Because I don't really, listen, actually, for you. Listen to a very, like, again, books don't really, this book's kind of a rarity in the sense of how, like, intense it is. I mean, there's smut books that are just for smut, or what we call fanfic. And I don't think I've ever seen it so intense in like a normal fantasy book. Because they were bringing up kinks and shit that I was like, did not think you were going to bring that up.
Oh, yeah, they had, you know, and especially the graphic audio. I mean, yeah. Well, you put the sights and sounds in your mind, yeah.
Yeah, did they do a good job?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No notes.
No notes.
No notes from me or Dad. But yes, that is like the most famous scene of this book, like in total, I would say.
And that's a regular thing of like, put your hands on the headboard.
Oh my God. That's why I specifically didn't want him to say a sex quote.
Yeah, I think he was probably glad that we didn't make him say a sex quote.
John, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad loves John Vertullo so much so.
Oh, I think he did an awesome job in that whole thing. Yeah.
Well, Cassian's your boy.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to do graphic audio, you know, when you're not like in the moment, you know.
You actually have to act it.
Right. Imagine that. An actor acting.
My God.
I mean, I heard that y'all are going to meet, though. That you're going to meet John.
Oh, yeah. I think that's going to be a pretty good time.
He's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think Dad's more excited to see John than he was to see Chris Evans.
Yeah. I don't know. He looked smaller than I thought he was. I don't know.
Well, in real life, he thought Chris Evans was taller, but he's actually his height.
Captain America was my guy. I mean, I had lunch boxes, I had everything. He was my guy, you know.
Never meet your heroes.
Well, he was nice.
Oh, yeah, he's super nice. Yeah,
No,
He just was. He just was short.
Really? I thought he was taller.
Well, Dad, how old are you?
5'9".
Yeah, so he wasn't that tall.
But when you meet your hero, your childhood hero, of course,
Yeah.
he's way younger than me, but still.
Well, but he betrayed him. Yeah.
Right.
And he did a really good job.
Oh yeah.
The main, so then going back to the sex, the main scene that happens that kind of changes the game. So when they get back from the lake, it's very much like a new ball game. They're having sex. It used to be like they'd have sex every 3 days. And then now they're having sex in a frenzy, every day, multiple times a day. And then there was that really raunchy one that I remember when we talked about it in the deep dive, I was like, it was only 2 pages long. And I was like, holy fuck, this thing is intense. It's dirty talk. He's saying the C word. I'm like, wow. I was hot, but also not I was kind of shocked. I was like, God.
Yeah.
Did you have a clutch your pearls moment?
Oh yeah. It was just, like I said, raw and intense. I mean, when you first meet somebody for the first time and then it's I don't know. They had looked at each other for a long time. Yeah. So
this is built up over years.
Well, right. And then over 6 months or so, it's real intense,
Honeymoon phase. Yeah. Just more
intense.
intense.
Yeah. It's
But
like Reese and Farrah. You don't hear them talking about anything now. Or she's pregnant, so.
Well, but they also, I don't think the bad boys ever get tired of their women, though. It seems like they're consistently raw and intense for a while. Yeah.
Right. Well, they're on to something else, too, so. Yeah.
They're on something else?
They're on to something else, Nesta and Cassian instead of Reese and Farrah, It kind of all started kind of the same way, all of them,
They foil each other a lot.
Definitely. Wonder how Azrael's going to play out.
I'm telling you, he's going to be the opposite.
It's going to be different because he's not with an Archeron.
I know. And he's not going to be with an Archeron if we have anything to say about it.
Well, if Elaine can't get her head out of her ass, yeah, she's...
Do you want Elaine and Azrael to be together?
Oh, my thoughts on that. I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, good.
But I don't know. It could be one of the... I think he's, after him working with the girls in training, I think it's going to be one of the other... Really
he thought it was Emery. Off pocket. I told him, I was like, you didn't get... Well, also, it's Dad. You didn't get lesbian vibes from Emery at all? The fact that she literally said Moore was the most beautiful person she'd ever seen?
Well, I forgot about that.
That's a trigger. That is literally Reese's trigger word. Because Cassian said it, Reese said it.
Feyre technically said it about Reese.
Feyre said it about Reese. Nesta said it about Cassian. I'm like...
Yeah, maybe so.
I hear most beautiful person I ever seen, and I'm like, okay, it's over.
It may not be mates, but that's a couple.
Well, there's still another one, the other girl,
I think Gwen and Azrael are endgame, for sure.
I just figured it'd be one of them. I didn't, and I forgot about, her saying that about Moore.
Liesl will never forget.
Yeah.
Super gay.
Big gay.
And I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but I know because we kind of just wanted to put this in the sex scenes and give Dad some fucking peace of mind. Is the big kind of Court of Nightmares romance scene. Again, I just wanted to put this here. I know it's later, but that was an intense, probably my favorite scene of the entire book. I love how it was kind of the end of the will they, I mean, again, it was never a will they, won't they, because you knew they were going to end up together. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of like the end of the strife, the end of the miscommunication, the misunderstanding, mostly, besides the 5 days later. But you know what I mean. It was like, okay, finally Cassian is hearing from her that it's like, she hasn't been mean to him she's getting the confirmation via her. Mm-hmm. That it hasn't been because she doesn't like him. It's because she likes him too much. And that this whole thing was kind of a convoluted, I don't want you to be close to me because everyone who's close to me dies. Mm-hmm. And I don't want you to die. And I think when he figures that out, it's kind of a big light bulb moment of it's almost like he feels dumb. Mm-hmm. I didn't think about that. I was taking it as an insecurity on myself because I have an insecurity about being a bastard born. And he just didn't even think about the other alternative. Mm. And then in this instance, instead of fucking, they make love, which there is a difference. It's funny that Nesta did not know that for the longest time. She's like, oh, sometimes you can go from fucking to making love, or sometimes fucking can become, or making love can become fuck. I'm like,
wow. Okay, good for you, Neth, figuring that out.
Dad question, what's the difference between those two things?
I don't.
I'm
Maybe
literally giving you the
maybe slower, and making love slower,
I
passionate.
mean, that's not. Yeah, I mean, fuck, we wouldn't know.
And then the other would be just raw and intense and like quickie.
I mean, that's also not wrong.
I simultaneously love the fact that you're saying like raw, but then also at the same time getting like icked by it. Because then I'm thinking, I'm like, ew. But no, don't change your wording. I just was like,
intense. So
I know.
in the moment.
Yes.
So,
but I just appreciate how they had like an actual love scene.
right.
How it was
Well, Cassian didn't realize that she was there when her dad died and she couldn't do anything about it. So that sticks with her in her head.
Well, he kind of was there. Like he was also dying as well.
Well,
like,
he was fucked up at that time.
well, no, actually, at the beginning he wasn't.
Well, no, but when he was there at the end, he was pretty messed up.
Or what I'm saying is like Papa Archeron died before like he even fought with the King of Hybern.
Oh yeah.
It was before Aquawar? Yeah, because the Hybern brings the dad like first. He winnows with him.
Oh, that's true.
And then they haven't even fought yet.
That's true.
So he died. He was there while he died.
Mm-hmm. He just didn't realize how much it affected Nesta.
Oh, how much he cared. Because I think like he was thinking in the reverse, like, oh, you hated your dad, like you didn't really care.
Yeah.
When it was, I think, especially since it's a dad episode, I feel like we should highlight on this because I didn't really talk about it. But like the fact that she said that what hurts me is that the fact that he even loved me at the end, irregardless of what I said to him, that I fucking hated him, that like he was like a good for nothing, kind of not doing his job as a father, which are all true. But like the fact that his dying words were, I love you.
I have always loved you.
If that's fucked.
Yeah.
What did you think about that as a dad?
Well, I never really cared for him much anyway for what he did, but I don't think that they knew what he was actually doing behind the scenes and what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really did until they showed up.
Well, because he was gone for all of Akamath.
Well, yeah, he's
doing those things.
Yeah, doing business. Yeah, you just left your kids starving and doing nothing, basically. Well, at that point, though, they had got money
taken care of. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that that's sweet. It's like the unconditional love thing we were talking about. Unconditional love when it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that my daughter told me she hated me, but like I'm trying everything under the sun to try to make up for even like maybe a sliver of it.
Right.
The whole thought of like, I will die for you. I will die. To make sure you
literally died for her.
She can't handle it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yes, I loved that romance scene because especially he gives her the gift. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, yay!
Snaps.
I was like, yay, finally. But
yeah, the one he didn't throw in the river. Yeah.
Which the one we figured out was it was the first book ever written.
Yeah.
It was like the first manuscript. And part of me was just like, good gift, but also I was like, that's it?
I mean, it's rare, I guess, and yeah, she likes books, unless the first manuscript happened to be smutty.
But, like, the thing is, I think, like, there wasn't anything to read.
Mm.
Like, she couldn't actually read it. It was more just like a...
symbolism.
Yeah, but that was in her wheelhouse, and he kind of knew that, so the gift was,
The second gift was better.
He was thinking of her, yeah.
The second gift was 100% better.
Music.
Yeah, music.
So, Nesta actually ends up going to a service, one of the priestess services. Sorry, one of the ones down in the library that Gwen invited her to. We find out that Gwen likes to sing. She sings with the priestesses.
She's a soloist. She's actually a really good singer.
Mm-hmm. And a soprano. Props to that. I'm a soprano. And basically, Nesta's like, well, I've been missing music in my life, so I'm going to go to this. And so she sits on the pew and she's listening, and it all sounds super great. And they're in like this giant like stone cavern under the mountain. And while she's listening, she accidentally scries. She just accidentally scries using the stone of the cavern and then using her own magic and her own bones, which didn't know that was possible.
Mm-mm.
And so in her scrying, she finds out where the next item of the trove is, the first trove. She finds where the harp is. Yeah, so
it's in the prison.
She has a vision of the harp. It's in the prison. She's never been to the prison before, but she's like, it's in the prison. What do you think of her being able to scry just like without actual stones and bones? Being able to figure out where the harp is just by listening to music and being down there in the service.
Well, that was kind of a good segue into her finding it. because the harp is musical, obviously. So she's
Mhm.
down there listening to music. So I think that in itself, how she was able to do that.
She's thinking of music.
Right, because that's where she was. So
And a harp was playing.
Yeah.
So
I think that all, played into that.
it made sense. It also seems like her magic is becoming less wild, like she's tempering it a little bit. Or at least because she's accepting more of herself, her magic is getting easier to control.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right, yeah, she's finding herself, and she didn't know what she could do or what she can't.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's easier to control as well because she likes music, so that's like soothing her magic in a way.
It's like, remember when Amryn told her the first time in ACO War to like clear her mind and like whatever?
Mm-hmm.
It's like she accidentally did that without thinking about it, and then was also like, it's the harp, and we're in the night. It seemed very seamless. So I loved that scene.
Yes, very much. It was
very
cool.
pretty in the graphic audio.
I can't wait to hear that scene. I mean, I need to catch up on all of that, but yes, I can't wait to hear that one. So yeah, she tells Cassian about it, and after some chatting with Reese and whatnot, they decide that Cassian and Nesta are going to the prison. Nesta's first time in the prison.
Mm-hmm.
And Nesta's remembering about all the things that Cassian told her about, like all the monsters that he put away down here.
Oh, with all the when he went in the monologue with all his scars.
Yeah, the scars from the first part of like all the scars, and specifically what was it? Blue anise.
Yeah, blue anise and
Lanthus. And like Nesta's thinking about this as they're descending into the prison. Basically finds the secret door, like they had like the secret door in her vision. She goes in, there's a warded room, finds the harp. First of all, like what do you think of like just the fact that there is a secret door in the prison, that like this harp has just been hiding in the prison?
Or yeah, that it's just a wall.
There's
like
just
it's
a wall that she walked through.
It's like the Harry Potter wall, like at 9 3/4.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like imaginary.
Well, it's funny because Reese don't like going there, and he's like, shit, I gotta go back. I gotta go back down here again, or whatever.
Why don't you guys do it, actually?
Yeah, you guys do it.
So, yeah, I think he wasn't sure how things were going to go. So, yeah.
Well, because he gave her the sword.
That's true. He gave her
the great sword.
Yeah, the great sword. I mean, but like, what do we think about the fact that out of all places, like the harp was just in the prison, like a place we've seen before in the books?
Well, to me, it made sense because I was like, what's like a place that has a kind of similar to Urid, where it like has a bunch of monsters protecting it that nobody would want to go to?
That's true.
Honestly, it kind of made sense, but I didn't even think about the prison as an option until it was mentioned. And then after it was mentioned, I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
Well, yeah, the other thing, though, I was thinking, okay, they go down there. Okay, she goes behind, like, there may be door 1, 2, or 3, first door she opens, there's a harp. It's like, okay, that's too easy. Way too easy.
And then the subsequent going through the wards.
Right, which is like, Cassian can't go through it, so only she can. And then when she finally grabs onto the harp, she is just presented with this random-ass vision of people screaming and pleading for help. And then she also gets a vision of Briellen, Queen Briellen.
It's like two moments.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I will say on a first read, it's kind of rough to listen to because it's like, that's why the deep dives kind of help with that in the sense of kind of going through it step by step.
Mm-hmm.
But basically what she hears is these people screaming almost like they're getting caught in the walls.
They're like pleading, like, save the children, at least like help us there. But like the wall is like freezing around them or something.
It's almost like they're getting like Han Solo'd into the wall. Like they're becoming the stone, and it's like, it's very creepy. And then yeah, like the children are never mentioned as like they never heard children screaming.
Mm-mm.
It was just those parents. So it's like, what happened there? And then yes, then it's like, because Briellen has the crown, which is like confirmed by Nesta at that point. Because again, before they were just assuming.
Yeah, like she probably has it, but then when they see the vision of her, or Nesta sees the vision of her, it's like, oh no, she has the crown.
And again, that was never explained later, but I think it was the thing because she was wearing it and Nesta was touching the other trove item that they were just getting a mirage of each other. Kind of like, well, Dad, did you ever see The Force Awakens? Or God, what was that second Star Wars movie? The one where Kylo Ren and what's her name? Rey? They like had that telepathy, not telepathy, but
Yeah.
They were seeing each other from across. They had like the fucking Force bond or whatever the hell that is.
I forgot they had that.
And they could see each other like they were sitting across from each other, but they weren't in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it made me think of, like when this happened. I was like, it's because
Nesta seen that, and so did the Queen as well.
So, but they also saw where each other was.
Which,
Right.
a reminder, like, Braylon typically was made as well.
Mhm.
Just had a different bad outcome. But it's
Yeah.
like they're able to see, and it makes it clear that Braylon is looking for the trove as well, if that wasn't clear before.
Yeah.
So,
The autumn court shoulders really tipped that off.
Well, yeah, if she didn't know, she knows now
Mhm.
that she has at least one. She may not know she has the other.
And I think like she assumed that she had the mask as well.
yeah, probably. Because those soldiers probably didn't come back.
No.
They did.
Well, it never said to get them you had to do a certain order.
That's
No.
true.
You know.
That's true.
But how much you gonna bet though the crown was in the lake?
Probably.
I'm gonna assume because like if Kosechi's like a death god, not if he is, but it had to have been in his lake.
Right, because like, what are the chances like that 2 of the dead Dread Trove are on Prithian?
Because that's what they said. They said it was on Prithian, but like I doubt that heavily.
Yeah, one of them had to be moved away. It had to be.
Yes, I'm continuing.
But luckily, she's able to get out. But the way she does that is she's like telling the harp, "Let me go." It's like, "Are you sure? Is that what you want?" And then she's like, "Yes, let me out." Basically.
Stupid Fey rules.
Stupid Fey rules. She goes back to Cassian. They exit that secret room. Turns out that door right next to that secret wall was open, and that cell was Lanthus. And so Lanthus is out, and he's weirdly attracted to Nesta, and then hates Cassian. So this whole battle occurs. So what did you think of like this overall, like Lanthus versus Cassian and the seducing Nesta moment?
Yeah, I thought that was when they come back and they see the door open, they're like, "Ah, crap, we got problems."
Shit.
Yeah, so. Yeah, figured they were going to have trouble. This is, like I said, it wasn't going to be easy, and I don't think they figured that out. But
I think it's because we've been to the prison so often that, like, we know the prison so well that, like, yeah, we assume something bad was going to happen, but, like, this is, like, the utmost of bad.
Right, because Lanthus is like a first god or something.
Yeah, like, Lanthus was probably, like, the most dangerous person besides the Bone Carver, like, in that prison. Like, he was, like, the next in line to be, like, the worst. I think it was because we went to the prison so much without, like, an incident, and then it's like, oh shit, we know that if one of these doors open, that's bad. Like, this is bad.
right.
Death bad.
Very death bad. Like Cassian almost gets death bad.
Yeah, yes, almost Cassian death bad. And
Cassian
then
death bad.
I think it was the fact that Nesta just very easily I just love the subsequent. She's running away and she's like, "What the fuck am I doing?
How dare I leave Cassian?
I have a sword. I have a made sword on my back. How did I leave my man? And also, like, I have an item.
I have a dread.
I have 2 Dread Trove items. What the fuck am I doing?"
Yeah, but so basically, that's another thing I wanted to bring about. What did you think of the fact that she was able to use the harp? I mean, similar to how she used the mask, she used the harp, plucked one of the strings, and was able to teleport back to Cassian.
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, as a reader, you didn't know the power that she would have over it. But in the other books, you'd see some of that stuff when they got something that they would have a certain power. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I didn't think the harp would be teleportation, though. And then eventually, again, we'll get into it, but, like, what it goes into later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she knew what it was going to do,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
She was just guessing.
Although she did vaguely remember what Gwen once said of, like, there being 26
And it's like,
dimensions, and, like, then there being 26 strings on the harp, and it's like, oh yeah, the last one.
It also just makes me think that if you pluck some of the longer one, not the 26 one, but if you pluck, like, longer ones, if you could actually teleport worlds. Because they talk about dimensions, and it's like, well, I feel like they could teleport other places.
And, like, we've heard of, like, dimensions and other worlds via, like, Amarin and hearing about the Rift. And
now they're just opening up this world to, like, possible crossovers, and I'm just like, I'm living for it.
It's SGM basically saying, hey, yes, there is a Mossverse.
I will say, though, going back to getting your ideas about, like, why are all these monsters just attracted to Nesta specifically? I mean,
like, he's, like, seducing her in the way of, like...
He gives her a vision of them fucking, and he's like, oh, Cassian can't do this. And
that's how Nesta gets out of the vision of,
yes,
like, I know that Cassian's the better fuck than you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they see her as being powerful, or going back to the blacksmith, everything she touches is, you know, some weird shit's gonna happen, you know. So I think they want to go power.
Sorry, I'll say my real answer, and then I'll tell you what I thought of when you said that. My real answer is, like, yeah, no, they're not, like, attracted to her. I mean, obviously they're attracted in a sexual way of, like, I'm fucking power, but, like, not in a way of, like, they like her. It's literally just wanting to use her. Number 2, I don't know why, like, when you said touching this, I was like, I could just imagine Lanthan being like, touch my dick, see what happens. It's gonna be powerful.
Could fall off.
Damn.
And like, what do you think of the fact that like Nesta used her sword and Lanthus was scared of her and her sword?
And killed him.
She killed him. She killed the first god.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think, they didn't know how much power she actually had,
Honestly, it made sense that one of these swords could kill, like, a god of some sort. I mean, it always does. If it's a magical sword, normally it can kill mostly anything. But, I mean, I think it was still shocking to them, because I don't think, even through all the lore they had, that made sense.
Right.
That they could kill them. I will say, I don't want to gloss over it, but something also that is important is that in that vision that he gives her, that Lanthus gives her, by the way, this wasn't the vision she had with the heart. It's almost like Lanthus knew there was a fourth trove item, but, like, he couldn't see it either. So basically, like, he's wearing the crown, and then there's, like, 3 pedestals. Mm-hmm. And so if you read it the first time, you can kind of miss it, because you think it's, like, 3 for the 3 dread trove items, but there's one routed in, like, this black, like, you can't see it.
It's blurry.
And it's, like, very much confirming that what Amryn said about there being a fourth trove item is real.
And it looked like it was made of bone. Mm-hmm. Or there was a flash of bone.
What'd you think about that?
I thought that was her. That would be the person, whoever had them all.
Up on the pedestal?
Right.
Interesting.
You got all 3 items, plus yourself.
Oh,
that's an interesting idea.
Never heard of that one.
You become the 4th item when you have all 3.
You become one with all of them.
All right.
That's cool.
And I think the queen, she was freaking out. She wanted them too. Probably for reasons unknown, but trying to get her youth back.
That's it.
That's all it is. That's why she wants power, is to become beautiful again.
But I think, when they didn't really, I don't know if they really said what it was, but I was just, my thoughts on that was her. That was whoever had 3 items.
Interesting. I'm just telling you what, like, we think and what the fandom thinks. So, interesting. I like to hear your different thoughts, Daddy. You got to tell us them.
That's a good theory. I haven't heard that one. The rest of the Autumn Court soldiers showed up.
Yeah, they found the rest of them. Didn't kill them. They just
left
disappeared.
Them in the prison.
I think it was also the fact that she could winnow in the prison.
Right.
Or teleport.
Winnowing isn't able, but then she was able to, like, to grab Cassian and pluck a string and then showed up on the lawn of the river house.
Yeah, so it was the fact that even through intense wards she could winnow. So, It's a lot. It adds, like, a lot of power to the dynamic here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when she did that, did she have to, I want to go back to the river house and then pluck a string? Do you have to think about it? Or does it just send you wherever?
I think...
Like you said, if you pluck, you got 26 strings. You pluck, like, 1 or 15 or 29 or 26. You go somewhere else.
You're descending dimensions, Daddy. 29.
Yeah, 26, yeah.
No, I know, I'm messing
But I'm saying, how did it know where she wanted to go?
I mean, she did think actively about, I think you do have to think about it.
Or it could be like one of those moments of like, if you think about a place versus if you don't think about a place, like Diagon Alley versus Diagon Alley.
Or like how they think of when you winnow, when you get stuck in that in-between place.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's like a question of like, is that going to happen? Is someone going to forget that, or not know that they need to think of a place first?
Mm-hmm.
Stupid.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that about Harry Potter. I remember that. Wait, and Mrs. Weasley said, "What did he say? What did he say?"
Diagon Alley.
She goes, "Oh."
She said, "Oh dear."
Oh dear.
Oh dear, that's what he said.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah.
So in the sense of like the after like a really intense scene, we have this kind of, because again, the Autumn Court soldiers came, so they need to get more information. Like, what the fuck? Why aren't you telling us? So here we get to a little fun and games portion of this scene. Like, so this is a little bit back, but just to get it, because to get Eris back into the fold here again. This is why Eris is also prominent in this book. Mm-hmm. Eris first meets Nesta out in the woods, and I think it's before the whole harp thing, but it's just for time's sake. They have this little meeting, and Nesta is really good at playing the courtier game. Mm-hmm. Like, she is making Eris quake in his boots, like, at that first meeting.
Yes.
Saying, like, look at what I know and you don't know.
Well, Eris is just trying to insult Cassian and get his footing back.
And I think the most important part of that was we can't forget about the Tamlin encounter.
Of course.
It was kind of building up. I knew as soon as they were meeting up in the Spring Court, I was like, is he just not going to appear at all?
No, we gotta have Henry.
And then he does. And I think Dad can attest to this. Henry Kramer sounded terrible. Like in the sense of, no, like, as a actor, he did, like, such a good job, but, like,
right.
He sounded like...
He made Tamlin sound terrible.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he made him sound like he was on death's door,
Mm-hmm.
which, in all truth, he might be,
I think another way I would have said it made him sound less human.
More beastie.
He sounded more beast-like.
Yeah.
But then Nesta's quick to, like, insult the fuck out of him, and she's just like, if you ever tell anyone we came here, I will, like, kill you.
Well, and I think he's a little scared of her, too, because he knows he can sense her power as well.
He called her a witch, too.
Yeah, they're all
Like,
they're all sensing her power, So.
And if our definition of witch in this universe is somebody who has more power than their body sometimes can take, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, well, and her not knowing what power she has and not knowing how to use it,
is dangerous.
Controlling it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then we get the wonderful, wonderful Court of Nightmare scene where, like, they ask Nesta to, a couple days before the winter solstice, ask her to seduce Eris into a dance with, like, the intent of marriage. But, like, I think it was more just seducing him. I don't think they thought, like,
in front of him.
I don't think they thought a proposal was going to happen, but they were wrong.
Right.
So what did you think about this whole Court of Nightmare scene of the dancing, Eris, proposing, and honestly, just making Eris kind of seem a little bit, I don't necessarily mean I started to trust him, but I started to like his character a lot more.
Yeah. Well, I never trusted him at all, ever. But, I mean, I thought he had something up his sleeve all the time,
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know if Reese and all the others really trusted him, I don't think they did, but they were just open to what he knew and what he had going on, I think. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's still a powerful ally. Like,
oh, yeah, they needed him, I think, yeah.
It's important that he's going to be their ally.
But then when she walked in and then, she knew she was, what do you want to say, prim and proper and dance, and nobody knew that shit,
Mm-mm.
And then, well, even before the dance when they talked about, what she was going to wear,
Mm-hmm.
And one of the other girls was saying, you got to wear that? Or
More.
something like that. Yeah. So, and then when she came in and did what she did, she played a pretty good integral part in that whole scene.
Mm-hmm.
Because she had him wrapped around her little finger.
Mm-hmm.
And Eris didn't know what to do.
It kind of was so funny because it's like she didn't, at some point, like, especially when we're in her perspective, like, she wasn't even playing. Like, she just loves to dance.
Mm-hmm.
And had a good partner.
She's like, oh, someone I can actually dance with. Perfect.
And who can keep up. And it was like, he took it as such like a romantic, well, I don't think he took it as romantic, but he took it as hot.
It's like, oh, this is actually quite attractive.
And I think, like, what we mean by the Eris thing is that, like, how he was telling Nesta that, besides the awesome danceness, was that he, like, told her not to listen to the lies they told her about him. More of a kind of black and white or kind of a gray sense of, like, why does he want a bride so badly? Or why does he need a bride? Is it a thing where Baron is, like, saying that for him to, like, because they technically can relinquish their High Lord power. I'm not saying he would ever do that because he's an asshole.
And he craves power too much.
But what if, like, Eris is getting warped into a deal that maybe if he gets married to someone very powerful, he'll relinquish his High Lord
magic. Which
magic.
I doubt that would happen, but potentially.
If he did have a badass like Nesta, though, I think Baron would try to fold. But, like, to me, it's a wonder why he wants to get married so badly.
Convince Baron to fold of, like, hey, my wife is really powerful. Like, she's gonna kill you.
Because he wanted more so badly, too, even, I feel, as a bride.
Right.
Before everything happened. So, like, I just don't understand why the bride thing matters to him so much.
Well, it was never in their lore that you had to have a wife.
Mm-mm.
You were high lord of your, summer court, night court, whatever.
Yeah, there's no qualification to be, like, have a wife to be a High Lord, but I just wonder why he's so gung-ho about this.
No, I don't know. Yeah, Tamlin, he's gonna be hard-pressed to find a lady anyway.
Helion doesn't have a wife. Technically, Thiessen doesn't have a wife.
Thiessen has a boyfriend, but, like, or a mate. Well, they're mates? They're not mates.
They're not, like, they've never acknowledged
or we don't,
mates.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what it said. Of, like, they never dare to acknowledge it.
So there are two more moments I wanted to bring up because I forgot to write one of them. But the retry to the winter solstice, I thought that was amazingly done. Is that Nesta, instead of going to the townhouse and where they were all like, it was like kind of a redo of the Christmas episode.
Yes.
Of Frost and Starlight.
Right.
And Nesta was actually engaging. She even got a present from Asriel, a little booklight.
Which she gave him a hug and everyone was
gave him a
out.
hug, was caring about him, and it's just like, it seemed like it was better than last year.
Yeah, where she got up and left.
Well, and got bribed to go.
Well, yeah.
So I just wanted to know what you thought about that winter solstice scene with them all together.
Well, I think like you said, I think it was like a redo, per se.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a lot better. They were a lot better to her and this and that. Yeah.
Actually engaging.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then, some of them still getting the same stuff.
I actually, so Dad would know who I'm referencing, but I told Liesl that Elaine's gift giving is like Gina's gift giving.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought after, maybe you don't agree, but I thought after the Court of Nightmare scene, I was kind of giving Eris like a pass, like not necessarily trusting him, but I thought he's all right. I think he's interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know.
It's a no, yeah.
After the way it played out, then I'm like, see.
Dad's having a very Cassian reaction to this. But then also, like, the fact that he just, like, said, nope, I don't want a fucking dagger, I want her. Like,
thanks for the dagger, I'll give it back, but give me her.
Oh
give me the one that made the dagger.
He's just like, hell yeah.
And make a maid armory.
Well, then Cassian, not knowing when she came in, he was like, oh, man,
It was so cute that oh my god, more like taught him how to waltz.
Oh yeah, they practiced a little bit or something. They were saying
just so he could intervene.
Yeah,
he could dance with her. And the thing is, like, she straight up was like, I mean, he's not as graceful, but like, I totally enjoy dancing with him more than Eris.
He's not graceful, but this is fun.
He's trying.
Well, they did. Did they have like a fan art or fandom of Eris? What he looks like?
Oh hell yeah!
Mm-hmm.
Is he like a little puny guy? Like little?
No. He's not as tall as Cassian, obviously.
He's like Lucian. He looks like Lucian, except for the eye, and he's just maybe a little taller, I'd assume.
They have different color
eyes.
eyes.
He just got one eye.
Well, Lucian has one eye, but the brother has two.
Well, and they're different colored, but that's besides the point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was just a rant.
I also wanted to bring up here, I mean, I will bring it up later, but I did not want to, like, forget about, like, the stairwell progression as we go through this. Because it's like, so she did make it down the steps to confront Amaranth, but then, like, it kind of, it's almost like it's had a reset. Because it's like, she was at rock bottom, and so it was like she, again, was building her way up to going down it completely without it being out of hatred.
Mm-hmm.
And I did really appreciate that.
Well, yeah, the first time she made it all the way down, she was pissed.
Yeah.
She wasn't thinking about it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, she was pissed, and she made it down there. Then when she got to down at the bottom, it's like, okay, what do I do? Because all them other times, she was trying to get down there probably for a drink.
Right.
And I know we'll get to it eventually, but I do appreciate how, like, when she finally gets down at the second time, it's like, no, I don't need anything. Like, I've got everything I need.
She got down just to go down.
Yeah, to, like, a goal. So then, moving into, finally, Valkyrie. So, like, this book switched from, like, okay, I'm going to teach you guys how to protect yourselves, to completely into hardcore military training.
Mm-hmm.
They did, like, more stuff. Like, I first I wanted to, well, I guess I'll just go with this since I've been talking about it, but, like, what did you think about the switch from kind of, like, them being individually? Because then Azrael comes in, right, and starts training with them as well. Seemingly harder than even Cassian. Like, and they kind of build their own units. Like, there's Gwen, Emery, and Nesta. Kind of like, they're literally just a foil to the Bat Boys. Mm-hmm. Of, like, having 3 people.
Right.
Because then, like, the other, it was, like, Rosin, Deirdre, and Lorelai. Like, they were, like, their kind of rival group, but they were, like, the people that came after them.
But another trio.
And it was, like, another trio, but then they were also getting taught as a unit, like, all together. And they were doing crunches. Like, it was, like, hardcore military shit. Well, again, now, spit on your grave type of treating, like, you know, military, but...
But, like, these are priestesses that experience, like, traumatic things, and were working in the library. Now, suddenly, they're taking charge of their life again.
Badass, because, like, this isn't just them teaching, because there's, like, when you teach yourself, or when you get taught how to protect yourself, it kind of ends at a point. You don't start getting to learn about, like, big military guns, or you don't get taught how to, like, I don't know, slice a man's balls in half. Like, you know, you don't learn that shit. But then, like, with this, they're just, like, going all in, and they want to. It's almost like it's just, like, their natural progression without even thinking about it. Which totally makes me think that this is going to be the Valkyrie unit. Like, this is the Valkyries now. This is, like, come to our temple, come to our abode. The House of Wind is literally going to be the place where if you're a woman who doesn't want to be, you know, like, it's going to be a tradition. Like, they are making their own Illyrian camp up here.
the Valkyrie headquarters.
Valkyrie camp. Or, like, if it's just the library, like, that could be their home base.
Yeah. Well, and I think, too, they're working out their own problems, too, that they had, you know, doing this and not really knowing they're doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and thank God later on that training comes into effect, you know.
And that's the whole reason why they were given it.
And it's kind of wondered me that they wasn't foreshadowing a little bit before that happened that, you know, I don't know.
They were, no. We all were fucking punked. She was foreshadowing them getting into the blood right so many fucking times. Mm-hmm. And, like, none of us realized it. Because we just thought, oh, you know, she's talking about, or Cassian's just telling her about the blood right. But there's so many times where it's brought up and it's like, why didn't we see it?
Right.
But also it's SJM, so I'm not shocked that we didn't.
Yeah.
I then wanted to see what you thought about the ribbon test. They had to cut a ribbon in half, like while it was on a stick floating, like, you know, floating, but in the wind. At first I was like, I didn't think that would be hard. And then I was like, no, I think that's pretty tough.
Yeah, well, more hand-eye coordination, I think, probably. I would assume that they were trying to do. Yeah.
You think you could cut the ribbon?
I don't know. Probably.
I feel like we think it's easy, and then we'd go into it, and then it'd be, like, not easy.
You have to really focus, yeah.
It does take a lot of focus. I mean, because the ribbon test makes me think of, like, the one test in that sword style...
Fencing?
No, not fencing, like Kento, whatever. It's like Japanese sword fighting with katanas. Basically, they have a test in their training where they have a piece of newspaper, and, like, it's hanging there, and they have to clean cut it in half without, like, yanking the top off as well.
Weak sauce. It's not even floating in the wind.
Well, yes, it is.
Well, it's inside, isn't it?
Sometimes.
Well, yeah. When they do it outside, call me up, because, like, this is
Ever heard of AC? It's called indoor wind.
That's not even, no, not at all. I think it was very symbolic then when they did get the ribbon, like, when they completed it, and they used the ribbon that they cut to put, like, a bandana on themselves. Literally like the Ninja Turtles, not gonna lie. And they were deemed Valkyries. Like, it was their own version of, like, the blood right, in a sense. Like, that's how you know you're officially Valkyrie at that you're able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like passing a test or something.
Yeah.
Breaking a board or something like that, yeah.
Well, Daddy knows, because with me being a second-degree black belt, I had to do, like, a test every time. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to a black belt, you have to kick a wooden board and cut and break through it. Mm-hmm. I even cut through 2, didn't I?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It was like a whole party. Like,
they had plastic boards too, where they were interlocked, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the blackboard was really the dowels on it was really big, so it took a lot. It took a lot of power to break that. But yeah, your white board, your orange board, your brown board, and stuff like that. Yeah, that was pretty simple. But it was also to find out how to hold a board for somebody to break it.
Yeah, so you don't get your fingers caught.
Yeah, I had my fingers smashed a couple times, but yeah, it's just So
I'm just saying something I know that's kind of similar to that.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, passing a test, and all the whole thing in between all this stuff, they were passing tests as they went on. You know, so yeah, just thank God that they were put in that position later on, and not when they first started. Or shit, they would have been goners.
Yeah.
They would have been goners way in the first time.
Well, I just think what was so interesting about the blood right qualifiers was that, because again, they make it seem like it's just it's just an obstacle course. But then when you come to find out that when they actually beat it, and Devlin and that one other rando, Illyrian, is there, that they were going through every blood qualifier in the past, however many, centuries, decades, whatever. It was like, it's almost like they had more of an intense training than the others did. Like the other Illyrian warriors, like,
who only had to train for like one.
They only trained for one versus like they were trained for like almost every scenario you can imagine.
Well, they were more ready. They were more ready to go. Yeah.
They were ready without knowing they were ready, and then they weren't voluntarily ready to go. Like, but then when they got into it, it was like, oh.
It's like, we didn't even want to be here and we still worked here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I just thought it was very interesting. What did you think about Devlin and then like the whole blood right qualifier thing? It took them 2 months to finish it.
Yeah. Well, of course, Devlin, he don't think much of women anyway, so that was his, you know. I don't think he was believing it.
People with vaginas that finish this?
He was not happy.
Well, right, yeah. They kicked most of his men's ass.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, he wasn't for sure on that, how to take that, yeah.
Here's a question. Do you think Devlin had a part in putting them in there.
I thought about that, but I don't know. He didn't want them there to begin with, so I don't know. Unless he did, just to, they won't last. Just put them in there. I don't know.
It seems like Devlin's such a purist, though. I mean, again, not necessarily in the sense. I think the only reason he let the Bat Boys do it is because they're still men. They're bastards, but they're still men. Versus, I don't think like Devlin would want like his precious blood right to be like tainted by women.
No.
Well, the one by women. Yeah, there was no way
Yeah,
he wanted.
yeah.
He probably knew that they wouldn't win anyway.
Well, and the thing is, he probably knew they would win. So I don't think, because he was the only one besides that other guy who saw them complete the qualifier. So like, he probably knew that they were a force to be reckoned with, and he's like, no, don't put them in there. And then someone else did it. Obviously, assuming it's Bellius and his men who did that. Because they said, I mean, we'll get into it, but they said that all the Illyrians have, no, I'm sorry. The Illyrian warlords.
Yeah,
So the camp leaders have access to Winnow. But there was more than one man in that room. So am I assuming that this is all the war leaders, or maybe like at least the more radical ones and not Devlin? Because she would have recognized Devlin's scent. Yeah. But she didn't. They were strangers.
And also, like, the Bat Boys would have recognized Devlin's scent.
So it seemed like they were just random warlords.
Was this something like the Hunger Games where they were picked at random to do this? And then somebody ended up, being in there not by their will. I don't know.
Well, because we actually talked about this in our last episode. We were like, I think that they all got what's that shit on? No, the shit on their face.
Chloroform.
Yeah, they all got chloroform because like all the guys had to get chloroform too.
Oh, so they could be taken somewhere.
Yeah, so I wonder, like Liesl said, if they were put on a list. And the warlords, I mean, but it was the fact that they were so aggressive with them.
Yeah.
But again, it could have just been like, here's the test, here you go. Like, but I think most people knew, besides them, because they're not Illyrians except Emery, like they knew that night that they would get attacked. Like they know what night they're getting abducted.
Yeah.
So it's not like the people who don't know they're going to the blood right know that's going to happen. So maybe why did they do it so aggressively? For them. Yeah. If it wasn't them actually taking them against their will.
They probably did think that the females were going to fight. Since only that one goon saw them trading, like they didn't know they were going to fight.
How did they know they were having a sleepover that night?
They're being watched.
Like, would the war camp leaders come to Valaris to snag them? I don't think so.
Yeah, because what Liesl was saying was that it was interesting, like that again. They were like, it was easy for them to get to the girls because they were at Emery's house because they were there. But like, she was trying to say, would they have still tried to come for them in Valaris? And I don't think they would be allowed to. They couldn't.
So it's like, would then they be put in there halfway through the blood rite if they ever did come up?
It kind of seemed like Briellen just wanted her to be there at the end. Like, she wanted her drained.
Yeah.
Like, she wanted her drained of her magic. So she at least wanted her to partake in it, maybe not knowing where she would have taken it. But anyway.
But that's not how it
I'm getting ahead of myself. Go ahead.
So yes, taking a step back from that, as you mentioned, Nesta does complete the stairs, this time on her own without feeling anger or anything. She does it very calmly. And
At Starfall,
yes. So she reaches the bottom, and then she's just like, she looks out on Valaris, and she's like, okay, cool. And then she just turns around, walks right back up. And where she meets with Cassian, I think they share a kiss.
A passionate kiss, and he bridal carries her up the stairs.
Because she's exhausted, but not in a teasing way this time. But like carries her up, takes her out to Starfall. And they just, this is Nesta's first time seeing Starfall.
Not passed out drunk, basically.
Right. And she's like, this is amazing. She actually like laughs at it. Of like, what do you think of, again, the fact that she finally made it to the bottom of the stairs, chose to go back up, and now she's seeing Starfall for basically the first time?
Well, I thought that was kind of ironic that she made it back down without being pissed this time, actually, But then, seeing the Starfall, that kind of reminded me of like 4th of July. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Similar to their 4th of July or our 4th, whatever. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So her seeing that for the first time was cool, with him,
And kind of feeling like actually part of this now instead of like, she's part of the inner circle, but she also has her own people situation going on.
Right.
I appreciated that.
And what do we think of like just the fact that there were other High Lords at Starfall?
Yeah, it was,
so Callius. And Vivian.
Who's pregnant.
Then who was that?
Helion was there.
Helion was there, not her. And Helion was there. So Helion's been to the Night Court, but now he's in Valaris. And Callius is here as well. So what did you think of the fact that there were two other High Lords in the Night Court, specifically in Valaris?
Yeah, I didn't I wasn't quite so sure about that. Why, unless he had them come over to ask him about Farron. I don't know.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But I didn't know why they were. Yeah, why they were actually there. But yeah,
I
I
think in
thought.
this context, it was purely for like trying to rebuild ties. Valaris is now, people know about it. Might as well offer up my home. It's like almost like Reese is opening up a little bit more,
And showing Starfall.
which is like their big holiday.
Yeah, well, that's true too. I mean, he could. Yeah, look at me. Look at what I have. Or look.
I mean, that's every High Lord when they go to their court, though.
Like, look at my beautiful.
Right.
But yeah, so then like Nesta, as she's like watching, she's like laughing at how beautiful it is and how incredible it is. And suddenly a voice behind her of like, I didn't know you could make that sound. Amren. Amren is here, of course, it's Starfall. And then Nesta surprises everyone by turning around and like kneeling, bowing to her and apologizing, like a genuine apology of like, I'm sorry that I treated you that way, that I spoke to you that way. And Amren, she's surprised, but she's like, she accepts it, and they kind of are friends again. Kind of.
Yeah, tentative.
And then the important thing here, I mean, other than the apology, is Amren, she's like, this house is alive. Like, what did you wish for when you came here? I wish for a friend. You've made the house into a friend. So that's kind of confirming the fact that the house is alive now.
Mhm.
Like, it's actually alive. So what did you think of that, of like Amren actually confirming that?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I think Nessa at that time was whatever had passed with them. I think she was trying to clear that up, but yeah, the house part. I mean, yeah, I think that it became her friend a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, that house is hers now.
I mean, it's kind of been hers and Cassian's
So
for a bit.
I'm not shocked. I will say the apology was, I do appreciate what Dad said there because it's a different way of looking at it. But I think because Amren has been alive so long, she's one of those people, like, she'll get mad at a scenario, but she's lived too long to hold like grudges like that. So it's almost like it's not even a tentative friendship. She's like, you're forgiven.
That's true. And she was just waiting for Nesta to figure it out the whole time.
Because she said even like, welcome back to the Night Court.
Yeah.
Nesta Archeron.
right.
Using the full name because she's the wise person.
Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a good scene. It was almost like she was the last person before Feyre who she needed to apologize to.
Yeah, that's true.
You
She
know.
made an apology to Amren and Feyre. And then a little bit, I forget if that was before or after, but basically Cassian is out of Valaris for a little bit, and so Nesta has a sleepover with the girls. She has a girls' night.
Mm-hmm.
with Emery and Gwen, and they all gather up in Nesta's like room in the small library she has, and they use said house that we've learned about as being alive to generate to summon bubble bats and cake, and
Random
other
shit.
treats, and the mini Pegasus. We can't forget the mini Pegasus.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they have a girls' night. They read together, they talk, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then they make bracelets. They make friendship bracelets, which Nesta had never made before.
Mm-mm.
And specifically, the thing to note here is each friendship bracelet had a charm on it, and Nesta made a wish on each charm that no matter where they were, they'd always be able to find each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you think of this girls' night scene?
Well, I thought that was pretty funny. Once they got together, then they were, ordering stuff basically from the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different stuff, and that was pretty funny. And then, but then, I think that was another foreshadowing the bracelets of trying to put together something because they were going to get separated, so, and they would always find each other. Well, that was kind of how they did that.
That was kind of the universe giving them kind of a one-up there because they knew they were going to get fucked in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was nice because it almost makes it seem like it's kind of binding. Like we'll see that again because they wear them all the time. Like that they'll see it. Like we'll see it again where they need to use it.
Right. I definitely on my first read through was like, oh, that's nice. Like that's just symbolic of like they're sisters now. They'll be able to find each other. I didn't think it'd come back.
Well, and then it actually has like an actual practical purpose, and it's really cool.
Right.
I will say about the scene where, so we're moving on from the apology to where, like, so just going off of what Liesl said in terms of like where that is in time. So this was after winter solstice, 5 days, because Cassian just like dips for 5 days and can't, because they made love. love, remember? And they inevitably have the fight about this, because it's funny because she's just like, you have somewhere to be? Then the next morning after solstice, and he's like, I'm hanging out with the dudes. Like, we always do this on, this day.
He like runs out, stumbling, putting his clothes on.
And he's gone for 5 days, and then they have their sleepover. And then this scene happens where they finally kind of address what that was and why did that happen. Because they kind of just got back to it, and then they just were like having sex again. And then she's like, so it finally comes out. Cassian and Nesta are mates. They are mated. What did you think about this whole fight in public in the streets? The poor streets of Valaris.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
So much.
Yeah, but her or him saying, "Well, we're mate." I thought she already knew that. That they were, but
you and us both.
So I don't know what. But yeah, it did get kind of heated, I guess. Yeah.
I think it was the fact that, it's almost like it was too soon for her, because they always talked about how, and we've always said this in our episodes, is that their bubble, especially with the sisters, the Valkyrie sisters, I normally call them the trio versus the sisters, because every time I think of the sisters, I think of just Feyre, Elaine, and Nesta. It's like college. They're living in this bubble where they're figuring their shit out, but they're not really like dealing with the real world. It's like they need the barrier in between. And then Cassian, not that he's saying it was his fault at all, but he's like, oh, I want to walk around the streets of Valaris. It was almost too soon for her to like.
He was pushing her out of her bubble.
They're walking the streets of Valaris. He's got her like very much like a protective man who's territorial over his woman, just walking with her, like, and not even territorial, but like, this is my lady, like very proud.
Yes.
And she's just like, I'm not really into. I mean, she didn't really. I don't think she minded that. I think it was like the kissing in public that bothered her. Yeah, and so. He's just like, that whole fight, it like went from like 0 to 100 real quick. It was like, oh, well, it's different for like Feyre and Rhys. And it's like, why? Because they're not mates. And she's like, wait, I actually genuinely, Daddy, I think she didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, because she remembered there being like some kind of bonding golden thing when they made love, but like.
Because she kept asking over and over again. She's just like, why do I feel this frenzy towards him? I'm just.
And no one's answering her questions. And she didn't.
She's not really asking them out loud. Because she knows inherently, but it's almost like she doesn't want to acknowledge it. And
I already thought she knew because of, we were made for each other or whatever, this or that, so.
Well, because, yeah, he kind of does get mad. He's like, you promised me forever on Solstice. Why is this word having a problem for you? And so she does kind of give a bullshit answer. I'm not going to at least to me. I understood necessarily when she's talking about having her humanity away, but it's like, I think it's just it was kind of that defense mechanism where she's using it as an excuse. When she does really like feel a certain way about him and she wants to be mated to him, it's just like she's just having a problem with the word. So of course this eventually leads to them fighting because he says, dig his own fucking grave, that he is shackled to her.
Well, I didn't want to be shackled to you either.
It's like when you say that one thing to your woman that you're not going to be able to take back, and it's like, she will be using this forever.
Yes. Yes, I know that.
Well, remember that one time, like 100 years ago, when you said you were shackled to me? After, like, what the fuck? This has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
See, I know my men. Holla. I know the crazy woman thing.
Are you a crazy woman?
I don't know if I'd ever, like, it depends on the word. Shackled? Like, if I had a guy say, like, that he was shackled to me, I don't know necessarily if I'd keep that up going forward.
Well, you wouldn't say it in anger. You'd be like, well, but, like, you're shackled to me, right?
I would be insecure about it, but I don't think it would last that long. I don't think we'd go, like, 10 years and I'd be like, well, remember when he said he was shackled to me? Like, I don't think, I definitely would bring it up close to when it happened, but not ever, like, that far down the road. I don't know. That could change. Shit, I don't know. Maybe I'll do the same thing. But yeah, what did you think of that? And then the subsequent, her using her bargain, and the tattoo disappeared, and that he was supposed to not, like, just don't see me for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I think she got pissed about that, so, yeah.
I think.
And he's like, oh, shit, I said the wrong thing.
Well, he can't say no, he has to listen.
Did you relate to that?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I did.
Every man in the audience is like, I feel you, man.
I have that moment too.
It was raw. They needed to talk. It was like one of their last things they needed to talk about. But the thing is, she immediately is like, nope, I was in the wrong here. I don't really have a problem with us being mates. It's just I got triggered. I mean, obviously she goes, more winnows Nesta up to Emery's house, which why would they, like her version of the cabin, basically.
Running away.
More specifically doing it. And then Moore brings Gwen, and Gwen's first time out, the first time she's ever been out of the library in however many years she's been there. Because she's recent to this library, but she was also housed early on too.
Mm-hmm.
She was back when she was younger, she was still stuck in
she's never seen the world.
Yeah, her first time being out in the world again, and this shit
happens.
Yeah, for her sake, that was not too, yeah.
That was literally probably the worst thing that could have happened besides, like, her actually getting assaulted again.
Yeah, the first time I go out and I get abducted.
Yeah.
Yeah. By males, specifically.
Yeah, like... So what did you think about them getting stolen in the night? Did you think... Because our perspective on this was very shocking. Not, like, shocking in that I couldn't see it go this way, but, like, did not think this is where this was headed. This last section of the book.
Yeah, no, I didn't think... Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen, no.
Mm-mm.
So.
And what did you think about them being chloroformed and kidnapped?
Well, if he was going to do something like that, that'd probably be the way to do it, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you were going to kidnap someone, chloroform's the way to go, my man. Like,
yeah, at least they wouldn't be squawking all the way there.
They don't put up a fight. They're rather quiet. Are we promoting chloroform?
God damn. Where do you even get chloroform?
Drugstore.
You could just buy that shit?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if you could just buy it.
It's probably an online thing. You can buy it online.
You need a prescription.
Hey, can I get a prescription for chloroform? Just ask your local doctor.
That's how you know I've done...
Why do you need it? For my mental health.
Done jack shit. I don't even know how to buy chloroform. I wonder, I think your mom would know. Just because she has a lot of random knowledge.
Hey, Mom, how do you buy chloroform?
Yeah, what are you trying to do?
And none of your business.
What are your plans this weekend?
Well, someone doesn't have plans. Someone definitely doesn't have plans.
Well, I'm just gonna go meet someone and steal them.
Yeah.
And I need chloroform, so how do you buy it?
Yeah, he or she does not know the plans that you have for them.
All right, so... Getting back into it. So yes, they get stolen in the middle of the night, and not only obviously we find out later that Gwen also woke up early, but Nesta wakes up early, assuming because they're not Illyrians. Some people say it's because Gwen's maid, but that's a completely different fucking thing.
I know. At first I thought it was because Nesta was maid, but then when I found out that Gwen woke up early, it's gotta be because they're not Illyrian.
Yeah, because it seems like maybe but that doesn't really make any sense though, unless the chloroform was magic.
Which it could have been.
Because if it was just normal chloroform, like, does it really fucking matter? Why would it almost seems like it had to be magical chloroform, or it was something about the magic that just didn't work on them because they weren't Illyrians. Because this is also there's like 3 major hits with this right at the top. They're the first women to ever be partaking, at least from our knowledge of history. That could change, but at the moment, they're the first women. Mm-hmm. It's also the first time that non-Illyrians are going in there. And then also, it's rigged.
Which, never heard of that happening.
Heavily rigged. There's weapons. There's even, like, packs that they had. There was, like, water canteens. And knowing the fact that this was all set up by Briellen, I did make a joke in the episode that I was like, because you haven't seen it yet, but I made a joke that was like, wow, she really thought very poorly of them as warriors if she had to give them all that to survive.
All of you strong Illyrian warriors, like this warrior race, you all need all of this help you can get to take on 3 female.
Well, that wasn't supposed to be. They wasn't supposed to have any weapons at all, right? Not in
No. Right. No weapons, nothing except the clothes on their back.
Right. So that all got messed up somewhere down the line.
It all got rigged.
Yeah, well, it also reminded me of, like, the packs that they had made me think of the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
It made me think of, like, the cornucopia initial bloodbath situation. Where everyone's fighting to get, like, the one weapon or, like, the one pack or something. But that wasn't ever supposed to be there.
Right.
Well, it was almost like they wanted them to get a head start, at least 2 of them.
But they didn't think that Nesta was going to... that's a question. Was it for Nesta or was it for them? Because by the end, again, we didn't get this into our episode yet because we haven't done the deep dive of that. but because Briellen wanted Nesta to be at the top. She wanted her to live. So was it for them? Was it for the girls or was it for the guys?
I wonder if maybe at her camp they were for Nesta, but at the other two camps they were for the men, so that Gwen and Emery would be out, so it would just be Nesta.
Because that's open to interpretation, because we don't know.
Yeah.
All we know is that Briellen wanted her alive by the end of it because she wanted her drained of her magic, so that she could kill her more easily.
Wow, she was weak. Needing to weaken Nesta so much.
But again, that's open to interpretation. Shit, it could have been for them. But yes, anyway, Liesl will take us into the blood right then.
Yes.
Epic as fuck.
Getting into it. Going through a lot of it, actually. So the sisters, or the trio, as we're calling them, wake up in 3 different sites, which is similar to the Bat Boys, who they were all separated for their blood right. But basically, they need to, get back to each other. And through some scuffling, Nesta is able to get out of her nightgown, because reminder, they were taken at night. They were in nightgowns.
Yeah, let's not forget that. They were literally taken almost naked.
Pretty much naked at that point. She had a scuffle with an Illyrian male, killed him, stole his clothes, and then booked it, basically, trying to figure out where to go. She climbed a tree, and then that's where the charms came back, the bracelet charms. They started glinting in the 2 directions of the other 2 camps. Forget which ones they were in, north and south, right?
I mean, it doesn't
matter. This is just me and random details. And yes, so basically, her charm glinted and glimmered, and it's oh, this is pointing me to where my 2 sisters are. That's handy. I'm gonna go to this one now because it's urging me on. It's important.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she makes her way to Emery, rescues Emery, who was drowning in a river, and rescues her, is able to rescue her.
Because that glint was more prominent.
Pulsing, that's what it was.
It was pulsing. And obviously she hears them talking about her, and then she apparently woke up with everyone else. She woke up because she was the one most hurt.
Right. She was basically unconscious, barely clinging to a floating log in the river. Mm. And so Nesta, didn't even think about it. She basically just crossed the river, dove into the river, swam to her, and then swam back.
Naked
because she didn't want to get their clothes wet and freezing because it was freezing water. That's true sisterly love right there. And basically, as she was she started a fire, she was trying to warm. I'll stop there for a second because that's a lot happening. So basically, she's able to rescue Emery. What do you think of this whole beginning of the rite where she was attacked and had to make her way up to Emery and the bracelet charm glowing? What do you think
right.
of that?
Oh, I thought that was another time coming into their training of all they were doing. Of course, they were put in that situation. Would they have handled themselves if they knew they were going to be put in there? I don't know how they would have handled themselves, But they seem like, she had to do what she had to do to stay alive. So first thing, she kills that guy and then gets his clothes. And then I don't think she realized that Race was going to do what it was going to do. So then when that is oh shit, that's leading me to one of them, at least one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So then after they got that and she got Emery, then leading up to that, Well, now another thing, she had help from another guy as well, or was that later on? She had...
We'll get in.
We'll get to him,
Yeah, she had help from another guy that didn't want to kill him, I guess.
I think the initial person that she killed, though, was important. It was kind of a similar, because if we're Hunger Games... Honestly, this feels more like Hunger Games than the first book did.
Yeah.
It was when Katniss originally killed that one guy. Because remember, in the first book, she went that whole time without killing anybody. And then when he killed, Marvel, whatever, killed Rue, it was her first kill, for real. Because the other ones were more out of circumstance. Because what was the other ones? She threw the beehive on them, and they died. But, it wasn't a direct death.
And technically only one of them died, the Glimmer.
Yeah, so it's we know too much about
the Hunger Games.
But what I'm trying to say is that it's almost even though the mask and the other times where she killed people, because I'll swear on my grave she did not kill the King Hive.
Yeah, she did.
She just finished the job. She didn't kill him.
She just decapitated him. He was already dead.
So this is her first legitimate kill that had nothing to do with her magic or nothing to do. It was literally just a pure physical kill. And I think that kind of shocked her.
And then she almost killed that guy in the gulch, Novius or whatever, with the knife in the balls.
Oh yeah, did you have to cover your balls for that? Hearing that, she dug in too.
It's out.
He's never having children.
Yeah, ever.
He's definitely not having sex. Yeah, for sure.
His pride is ruined.
But yeah, the thing interesting about the river though was the fact that she like hooked it up. It was a very especially, and you can attest to this in the graphic audio, was done so well of like keeping up with the pace because this was very much like a back and forth, like very much movie-esque ending of like we're going from here to there, back to here, and it's like it was done well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then so that was a lot of good stuff, but like definitely feels like she's like, we're in the right. Now we gotta get through this. Remember what Cassian told us and all that stuff. Remember our training. As she's trying to warm Emery still hasn't woken up. Suddenly there's another voice because Nesta's trying to find a cave because sun's setting and there's monsters in the Illyrian mountains. She hears another voice, a male voice, and it's the guy you mentioned, Balthazar. So Balthazar is another Illyrian male, and he doesn't seem to want to kill them. He actually like is helping them. He's like, there's a cave right over there, and then they share like body warmth in there without any and without him trying to make a move or anything.
She is naked still.
She is naked because she gave all of her clothes to Emery. I think she's wearing a cloak or a jacket of sorts, but like that's about it. There's no moves being made, and
it's not creepy.
He's like literally just there to help them for some reason. So what did you think about meeting Balthazar?
Well, I thought that was pretty cool, but she didn't know what he was going to do either, So she was kind of leery of him until she figured out that, okay, he's maybe going to help. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So.
I think it's also, like, again, I think he's just a good Illyrian, but it also seemed very much like a political thing where it's like, I know who you are and I know who your sister is. And I know who your sister is married to.
Right.
But it was specifically the fact that he was nervous of Feyre.
Right. He didn't even mention Rhys.
No. Especially for an Illyrian, that's very crazy that he's bringing up that he's scared of a woman.
Yeah. And on top of that, he's like, I'm not here for the blood feuding or anything. Like, I'm not here to, like, make alliances. I mean, if there's someone I want to kill, then I'll kill them. But I just want to make it to the mountain.
I think that was so funny.
And he's like, okay, so he just has one goal and he doesn't care about all the needless bloodshed.
No.
Makes me think that maybe, like, we're going to see him again and maybe it'll be, like, a good thing with, like, Cassian of being like, oh, for once, like, an actual good Illyrian.
We will definitely be seeing him again.
We've got to be. So I liked meeting Balthazar. And then, so progressing further, they make it to Gwyn. Well, technically they don't see Gwyn first. They run into Bellius.
Emery's
and his cronies.
cousin.
Right. Emery's cousin. And they have Gwyn's nightgown, but they don't see Gwyn anywhere.
It's a trap.
It's a trap, which they follow for, and they get captured. And then Gwyn comes to save them by leading one of the Illyrian beasts to kill everyone.
Which was so badass because it just brought up Akamath in like such a good way, like tied that up so well to where we were like, we've been hearing about this for books that like the creatures in the Illyrian mountains are scary as fuck, but we'd never seen one. Like it was only just hinted at and,
footsteps or sound.
Or scary moments of like Feyre almost getting clawed by one, but then not really. So the fact that we got to see one and that it was part snake and what else?
Cat.
It was part cat, part snake. And I was like, what the fuck are these things? I was like, never seen one of these.
I mean, we kind of glossed over it for a second of like, when they woke up with Balthazar in the morning, like, it was like plenty of clothes because there were a bunch of like half-eaten corpses because apparently these monsters climb trees.
Mm-hmm.
With Gwyn, she's just like, so I learned that they hate being woken up in the day.
Like most creatures don't.
It's like, I learned where they sleep and that they are very angry when they get woken up, so I let them hear. Like, okay, great. Good to see you again, Gwyn. So what did you think of finding Gwyn again, meeting up with Gwyn?
Well, once again, I think, didn't they use the bracelet too after they found Emery? Well, after she found Emery, then it was telling them to go a certain way as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they did, so. But yeah, then her getting that whatever it was, that was pretty funny. Killing everybody.
It's like the classic villain monologuing too long, and then just Ex Machina comes and just random creature.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, what was interesting about that scene, I think everyone thought that Gwyn, like, out of all the three of them, would have the most trouble. I think because they were underestimating her in the sense of, well, I don't want to say underestimating her, but definitely not giving her enough credit.
They thought she'd probably be scared because, she'd been...
It's her first time out in a while, so it's like they were nervous.
And she's naked, and she's a priestess.
And these men, obviously, as a theme throughout this entire last part, are basically saying, we'll rape you.
Well, I think they thought she was the weaker link.
Yes.
Yes.
But then she turns out to, she had clothes already. She already did all that stuff that Nesta was doing already. Hiding up in the trees.
Which we turned out she woke up early, too.
Yeah, and so it's like, I thought that was very good. And it was also nice to see Emery kind of give a final fuck you to her cousin. It's almost like this was also good for her character development of, she's finally standing up to her asshole family.
Yeah.
Right.
Saying, no, fuck you.
Yeah, because they wanted to take her shop away from her and stuff, too.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you. I hope you die to this Illyrian monster.
Yeah, she's like, well, and obviously we know he doesn't, but of course he got saved.
But yes, now that the three of them are together, they start making their way towards the mountain, towards Ramiel. And along their way, they're fighting their way, taking down all of these Illyrian males, fairly easily, using the training that they learned.
Mm-hmm.
There's one bigger battle that they have where they're taking on a group of males, and they're using shield and throwing knives at each other and weapons, and it's just they're working together as a solid unit.
Oh yeah.
Which that in itself is actually incredible.
We'll see.
And then they're making their way further. Correct me if I'm wrong about this part. They're making their way further, and there's a rope bridge. They've just finished this fight, and then they see another group of males, and they're like, okay, whoever gets to the rope bridge first is going to be the one to make it across and cut it.
Yeah.
And so basically it was a race to the bridge, and Emery and Nesta made it across, but then Gwen got shot.
Shit.
Gwen got shot
in the leg
with an arrow, and they had to do this whole maneuver thing where it's well, I guess I'll stop it there because then I'm gonna get too beat by beat.
Because there's a lot.
There's a lot happening here. So, first of all, what do you think of them fighting as a unit and taking down all these Illyrian males?
Well, I think that's where their training kicked in as well. And for the males, I think, yeah, they've seen women and it's yeah, we got this. They didn't know who they were up against.
The ones trained by the best Illyrians in the world.
The one every other male looks down on.
So I didn't think they knew what the hell was going on. They were just getting, killed left and right. But yeah.
Well, it's just, it's, this whole sequence is funny because first of all, it does turn into the Hunger Games hard when they can't find caves and so they tie themselves to the tree, which is didn't want to pass over that because that's funny as...
Right, that's what Katniss and Rue did.
And what's interesting about that is they bring up that the beast didn't fuck with them. The reason Gwen was up in the trees, the reason Balthazar said don't hide up in the trees is because they smelled Illyrians. Gwen says it some bullshit. I don't necessarily know if I trust it. Oh, I mean, she's smart. I don't know, but she gives us the explanation that because they're not Illyrian, maybe they're not seeking them out.
Or maybe.
And that's why they're not climbing the trees.
I feel like it could be more of the fact that they're female and the monsters aren't they haven't seen females in the woods, so they don't know that that's prey.
I would believe that if Feyre didn't get attacked. Tried to get attacked by something.
That's a good point.
But it's I will say that I do agree that maybe, because animals, regardless of if they're monsters, have some sort of, we know you're not bad. Seems like these other fuckers need, a taste of their own medicine. And again, we could also take Feyre's interaction with them as, a grain of salt. In comparison, but basically what one says is that because they're seeking out the Illyrians, they're not, it's almost like their scent is covering up Emery's. And so that's why, they are not getting attacked.
That's true. It could have been with Feyre, though, that because she was crashing through the branches, she woke one of them up, and they did not like that.
Maybe. Yeah, of course.
Anyway, but that's all theoretical stuff.
But yeah, it's really when they get to that one bridge scene where they're because they didn't really have any bad interactions after the Bellius thing until they make it to they see the bridge and then they're oh shit. Well, honestly, I don't want to forget. It's the fact that when they met up, they're what do we do next?
Right.
Are we going up to the mountain? What are we decide? Or are we just going to try to survive? I think it then did get to a point, though, where okay, let's try to make it. It's almost like they stepped it. Yeah. It's okay, well, at least we'll just go in this direction. We'll go towards the mountain. And it doesn't matter if we get there. It's just, a matter, we're just surviving at this point.
That's true.
Because then they see the bridge and they're fuck, we can't, if they get there, they're going to break it.
Yeah, we gotta get there, at least. It's definitely a step-by-step way there.
And then, like Dad said, I don't think the Illyrians knew that they could fight so well as a unit. Because fighting as a unit of 3 is way different than fighting by yourself.
That's true.
And like you said, they were, shield here, like, okay, we're gonna kick. It was very much I want to see this visually of an action scene. And the graphic audio did it amazing, where it's like, okay, 1 step, 2 step, I'm here, like...
I'm ducking under here just for you to punch him in the face, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And yes, like you said, they're running, because like they kind of defeated them, finished them, they're running towards it. And the thing is, they get onto the bridge. That's the thing. They're on the bridge. She gets shot.
Yeah.
And then Nesta's like, Gwen's like, cut it. Just do it.
Yeah.
And then they
figure out a different way. Like, I mean, I've seen this kind of moment done in a lot of movies.
Mulan.
Mulan too. But, in both Mulans, sorry. Anyway, but basically, so Emery, their anchor, she's over on the other side, she made it across, and she ties a rope that they have around herself and around the tree, all by Nesta's direction, specifically. Nesta fires an arrow, so she could shoot a bow, which, remember, she did say that Feyre taught her.
Feyre taught her one time.
It's like, well, it saved her life here.
Yeah.
Saved Gwen's life here. She fired the arrow towards Gwen and was just like, tie this around you, then we'll cut it. And so she did. She tied it around her waist, and then they cut the bridge, and Gwen just fell into free fall. And it was... And
the other warriors did too.
Yeah.
It was because the fact that their wings were bound.
All of their wings were tied up. They couldn't fly. So
and brutal.
So it's like, half of the Illyrian males also fell, and it was like, that's a huge moment of trust for Gwen to be like, okay, I'm trusting Emery and Nesta to pull me up.
Yeah.
She's still smacked into the cliffside, which, ouch. But, like, it was kind of funny because then the rest of the guys, like, calling them bitches and stuff.
Yeah, that was the comedic part. They were just like, bitches, like, will you find something else to call us? Because, like, it's getting old now.
Yeah. So, what did you think of, like, that whole, like, really fast-paced bridge moment and Gwen getting shot and the whole technique to save her?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That was, I think, your instinct, happening where you have to, kill or be killed, I think that came out. But yeah, some of that stuff was kind of unique on how she knew what's going to happen, and what to do.
And how Nesta just did the arrow thing so seamlessly. I wonder if she was, like, doing it in secret. Like, if she was practicing in secret without anybody knowing it.
That'd be wild.
About the bow stuff.
Well, and she had talked, the one that got shot was like, well, you got to go on without me, or you got to do this, or you got to do that.
What the fuck?
What do you mean? We came to rescue you.
Yeah, we're all in here together,
Anything else to resemble the Bat Boys? Literally, they were talking about how they, like, carried Reese up the fucking side of the mountain. Like, it's almost like they're literally almost shot for shot having the same thing happen to them, but, like, again, it's their own thing.
In different moments, but yes.
Anyway, I love that so much.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not leaving you, bitch. The fuck? Don't ever say that.
It's like, you're crazy. And now you're injured, too.
Well, and they also cut the way up to this was the easiest way up to the mountain. And so they cut that, and so people had to go around and do whatever.
Which kind of suggests they were the first one to make it that point on the mountain.
I think so, and that's fucking bonkers.
Yeah, especially because they went to all 3 sites.
Yeah, maybe it's because all the other Illyrians were, like, trying to find the other people to kill first and then make their way, but, like, that is so crazy to me.
Or I wonder if Balthazar actually made it first, but then left it open for them.
I 100% feel like that could happen, yeah.
That could happen. And then, I forget which day of they did this. I think maybe, like, the 3rd day or the 4th day.
It was, like, the day before the last.
Yeah, I think
this was, like, day 6 or whatever.
Day 6.
It doesn't, yeah.
Anyway, basically, the trio is, like, at the base of the mountain, and they're, like, figuring out if they're gonna climb it up. It's nighttime, they're tied up in a tree, and they have this moment of vulnerability with one another as they're trying to figure out if they go up or not. And they share their pasts.
I think what was interesting about the start of this scene and what gets them into this conversation about their past. Not only opening up because it's like, we almost went through life and death together. I feel like you guys should know this if we're going to die tomorrow. Is the fact that they made it to the mountain. Because apparently that's such like a big deal in their culture. Like even fucking Balthazar was like, hey, if I make it to the mountain, like that'd be dope. Because like nobody makes it up the whole mountain.
Yeah, is that Aristian or is that the other one, the Oris?
Aristian is making it up to the mountain.
Yeah, but to start with, they got thrown into this thing that they didn't know they were going to do anyway.
Yeah.
So then when they get to the point, it's like, okay, we're in this shit now. We're gotta win this thing.
And that's why I love that it was initially Gwen to start this conversation.
Yeah.
It was the fact that, yeah, Dad, you're 100% right. They were like, at first we took this, it's almost like a representation of their entire thing throughout this book. Hey, we started by doing this, not really by our own will, but wanting to survive, to the point where it's like, no, we're the fucking Valkyries. We are whooping ass. We can do this. Like, it's such a fucking amazing scene of just, hey, we weren't going to initially do this, but we're here already. Want to try to climb this fucker tomorrow? Because, like, I think we can do it.
But they're like, oh, but Gwen, your leg. But she's like, I don't care. And then let's talk about our past. But yeah, so Gwen basically, I'll do it beat by beat, one by one for them. So Gwen tells her past of the attack on the Temple of Sangrava. And turns out, like, Hybern's soldiers attacked. And we remember, like, the Hybern soldiers are attacking all of these temples to get the legs of the cauldron.
Yes.
And so in the temple that was attacked, Sangrava, Gwen basically was assaulted. Her temple was attacked. She had a twin sister, watched her sister get decapitated, and then was assaulted by the Hybern soldiers.
And pardon my language, not only just assaulted, she was actually raped.
Yes.
Because they were trying to protect the children.
She had managed to get the children out through a secret tunnel in the
temple.
In the temple, in the kitchen specifically. And then she pulled like the big heavy kitchen table on top of it and was just like, there's no one here, basically, when the soldiers came in.
And the soldiers had her sister, and
like,
it was
where's the children? She's like, she wouldn't give them up. The sister.
It was a terrible choice between, do I save the children or do I call his bluff and see if he'll actually kill my sister?
Right.
And that's fucked. Like, this whole idea of, like, okay, so she shaved the children, but her sister had to die. And then not only that, but the children are also watching her get raped.
Well, hopefully not watching, but they're definitely hearing.
Get saved.
Yeah.
But not in time to not, like, have that happen.
Yeah, she chose the many, like, the children, the future over her sister for this one moment of, like, well, hopefully, like, she's not actually hurt, but, like, I gotta save the children because my sister will hate me otherwise if I don't. That kind of thing. Then, yeah, decapitated, and then she gets raped, and Azrael saves her. Bless his heart. But so what did you think of hearing Gwen's past now that she's finally sharing it, and why she was in the library to begin?
Thoughts?
Oh, well, yeah, it was kind of rough on her for her whole life, so, yeah. And, her opening up and sharing that to everybody,
Yeah.
That was huge,
Yeah.
So for her.
Yeah.
Well, it was also the fact that, like, she felt, well, obviously, a lot of women who have been raped or assaulted feel this way, is that they feel impure afterwards.
Which is why she didn't wear her stone.
Yeah.
She felt like she didn't deserve to wear it.
And Nesta realizes that Gwen was in such a position like her own, where it's like, I could have chose to save him, but Nesta's situation's a little bit different, but it's like, Gwen feels responsible for her sister's death. And in a way, again, she didn't kill her, but kind of was, but of course her sister also wanted the children not to die. It was just another fucked up version of, like, I did kill somebody that I meant a lot to me, even though she didn't kill them.
Yeah, survivor's guilt.
And I just thought it was, like, opening up. I was so excited to finally get her backstory that I was like, did not think it was going to go that way.
Makes sense why she keeps looking at Azrael throughout all of the training.
Because, yeah, she like, his savior. He was
there, and he literally slaughtered all of them in front of her.
Killed them all.
Which is just insane. So
hot.
Hot, but, like, also not for this situation.
No, but, like, just because it's Azrael.
And then we get Emery's past, where she talks about growing up, like, with her father and how abusive he was. Basically just talking about her family growing up, which I need to reread her passing.
I mean, it was mostly just she kind of mentioned it earlier in this part, like part 2 of this book, where she was like, oh, it felt like my father yelling. It was like actually saying that she was abused physically by her father, and that it was sickening to walk around the war camps with him being such a savior.
Right, because he was supposedly a war hero.
It was underground. Like, it was the fact that, like, he made her cover up the bruises and, like, very much that trauma scene. Oh, everyone thought he was so amazing. And that's why it kind of seems like back in, if we go all the way back to Frost and Starlight, why she felt so, when she's like, oh yeah, I know your father, I'm so sorry he passed. She's like, I could give a fuck.
Like, I'm not.
Less.
Right.
So it was very much the fact, and that her mother kind of just let it happen.
Which was different from what we originally heard, which Emery had mentioned that her mother died in birth to her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, actually, no, her mother was alive.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't die during childbirth, which I found that interesting.
So, especially as a father, I guess in this sense, what did you think about not Bellius, but her father?
Yeah, when she started talking about it, that was unfortunate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
triggering
that something would happen like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like these women that it's like the fucked up thing of like mental and manipulation and physical manipulation, where it's like, okay, I'm beating you to protect you.
Yeah.
How does that make... Because to the Illyrians, their women are like, they protect them, they're like their everything, but then Semi, at the same time, are like pushing them down so that they don't have feelings of getting up.
I must discipline you so that I can protect you better.
And the fact that her brother died so early on, like before her. Apparently. Yeah, like her brother died before her, so she never got to know him, but it was literally just her and her father, and everyone thought it was just like this happy thing, and then it wasn't.
Right, and then you clip it.
Yeah, and then...
Which we got before.
Nessa's got to be sitting back saying, you know what? My shit ain't so bad after all.
It's like it's like fucked up in a different way, but it's like, yeah, you know what? At least I didn't have that.
It's like, those are two really bad stories.
Mm-hmm.
But Nessa does like finally open up to them about how she was acting, you know, what happened in the war, and then, you know, just how she was acting around Valaris. And she's like telling them all about her shame and her guilt.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we know about Nesta's history because we've been with Nesta's POV, but what did you think about her finally opening up and telling them?
Well, that was also a healing for her, I think, opening up to the girls and telling them, because they opened up to her.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, well, I got to open up to them, you know. So I think that was some of it too, that helped them all, you know.
They all had the same collective worry that if they told each other about their past, that they would somehow deem them unworthy.
Like, oh, we're not going to be friends anymore.
And then, which kind of did the opposite, because as soon as they heard that all of their stories were very similar in the way of maybe necessarily being put down by men in some way, it was... Because she even told them about Thomas and, like, her father and everything in, like, human realm. So it's like, they had to have their healing session, of course.
Just in a tree in the middle of the Illyrian woods.
Which is, like...
Best
fair. But then I do love how that eventually gets to Gwen being the one to say, no, we're going to do this thing.
We're making it up that mountain.
And it's like, no, we can't have come all this far, and like not only far in this competition, but far as they have with all the stuff they've been through to just give up now.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a very powerful message, and sometimes this is an exact reason why I will die on a hill if anyone talks shit about Sarah J. Maas. I can understand maybe not liking her work necessarily, but saying that it's just fairy smut or saying that it's just da-da-da. This scene right here will make me kill anyone who says otherwise.
You'll die on Romeo.
I will die on Romeo for SGM, because it's like, she sets up such a powerful message within it, and like, we knew it was there, but then eventually getting like a scene like this, and many scenes like this, while we were going even through its entire episode.
I'm glad she back and actually told us, though.
So it's like, shit, I guess we're going to do this.
Well, it was funny that Gwen, you know, her being the first one to be outside wherever she was staying at for all them years.
Yeah.
And then her say, you know, hey, we're going for this. We ain't, you know, we're not backing down, you know. So I think the other two was like, okay, you know.
If she's okay with it, then okay.
We kind of were saying that Gwen is simultaneously their Rhysand, but also their Azrael. Super competitive while also being very leader-esque.
Right.
Yeah. But Nesta very much seems like she's the visual. She's the visual leader. K-pop reference, Daddy. She's like the leader by face. Like, you'll see her and be like, nope, that's Nesta Artron. That's the leader of their little... Maybe who brought them together, maybe? But it seems like Gwen normally takes the lead in a lot of instances.
Or it's kind of like leader and strategist kind of vibe.
Well, because at this point as well, I mean, I'm skipping ahead, but like, they're out of shit. they're out of water, they're out of food. Like when they go up this mountain, they're literally, and also me, I was thinking, because again, this is not a mountain in the sense of like 90 degrees.
Well, some parts probably are.
But it's like when I thought they were freehanding it, I was like, I know you can freehand walk walls, but I was like, dear God, like this is where the fantasy element gets me. I'm like, couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, but the other part of it is, with the other people, they've got thrown into this just willy-nilly right out of bed, basically. With the other guys, did they have a backpack? They had knives. They had all kind of other shit. These guys had nightgowns and their body, and that was it.
That's all I need, a nightgown and a body, and I am good to go up Bromule. Like,
yeah, they didn't have shit, so.
Because they actually had survival training. It makes me, I made this reference as well. It's almost like the other Illyrians were kind of like the careers, wanting to go for another Hunger Games reference. Like, they just wanted to kill everybody. They didn't really think about the survival instincts.
They trained their entire life to kill.
But they didn't have, like, the resources to know how to do a fire or how to find water or find food. Like, they didn't have like those aspects. They thought it was just going to get given to them. So the next part about this is that I wanted to do this here because I didn't want to like break this up. Because again, as you know, this whole thing was Nesta Cassian. It's almost like there was these I basically called them the continent filler adventure.
The commercials.
The commercial break between events at the Blood Rite. So going all the way back to the beginning, where Cassian finds Nesta gone, and the girls all gone in the camp. Rhys and Azriel, well, basically Azriel tells them that Eris got kidnapped because he's a fucking idiot. He is kidnapped by Briellen, and just at a perfect time, why don't you? And that because Rhys and Feyre can't go because of their bond.
That's finally revealed.
Yes, that Rhys can't put himself in harm's way because that would Feyre die. And the baby. Mm-hmm. So then they're like, I know you're worried about your girl, but... And I don't think they really realize I think the Inner Circle knows that they're mates, kind of like the similar way of how they knew Rhys and Feyre were mates, but they just haven't acknowledged it. It's like, we get you're worried about her, but like, you literally can't get her. You will both die if you try to get her.
And she'll be pissed at you.
Yes. Honestly, the best people that could have trained them to go in there. I understand why he's worried, but like, I knew they wouldn't have any issues. Really. But so basically, Cassian and Az for like many a moons during this week are just waiting and spy on the palace. And literally, legit almost nothing happens until like the end. Mm-hmm. So it's like, Azriel hears from some passerby human that Eris is in the capital. Like, he's the queen... Sorry, Briellen has like her palace on lockdown. Like, no one can get in, no one can get out. And so she knows that they're waiting for her outside. And this is such an interesting scene because we find out that human was a plant. Like, she manipulated the human into telling them that so that they would believe the trap that she set for them. Because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this reminded me of like a Shrek 4 moment when like the ogres are about to descend upon like, what was it, Rumpelstiltskin. What the fuck did I just say?
Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin.
Rumple, let's say Rumple. That's a Once Upon a Time reference. Remember Rumple, Daddy?
Yeah.
So that was Dad's favorite character in Once Upon a Time. Did such a good job. I don't even know what that actor's name is, but I'll have to find it.
He played a good part in that, yeah.
He did. It reminded... You remember Shrek 4, right? Or am I just...
guess, might have similar, I don't know.
Whatever. She knows what I'm talking about. It was like, there was a decoy carriage, and then they spring upon it, and then there's no one in there. That's literally what happens. Eris is there. They see him, and he's just riding out on a carriage, and then they think that Briellen is in there, because it makes a way to the lake. And I don't really think they realized that it was to the lake.
That lake.
So there's a lot here. So I just wanted to, what did you think at first about this back and forth filler? Did you like that? Was it annoying, or was it kind of a nice break from the action bits?
Well... Yeah, it was a nice break, but then I'm like, okay, so she's got Eris, so he's gonna spill the beans on everything. He kind of figured out he knew what they had.
Well, and he basically guessed that there was a new trove too, because if she figures that out, I think it was interesting though, is that like she didn't really use him. It was literally just a trap. She just wanted them to come to her. Like, figure out this was all like her 5 steps ahead plan. Mm-hmm. So basically what happens is they get enthralled by the crown to like stop moving, like because she's wearing it. Mm-hmm. And then a dark like figure kind of like anthropomorphic. You can't really see a figure. Almost kind of similar to Lanthus. The fact that he's just kind of a mist. Kosechi appears. They finally see him for the first, and we get to see him for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what is it? Eris puts a knife to Cassian's throat.
Yep, which is the reason that Azrael doesn't fight back, because it's like there's a knife to Cassian's throat.
Yes. And I will say that Koschei does not seem like... I just want to kind of get your thoughts on this, because, like, during this whole part, it didn't seem like he was very threatening. It's almost like, I've wanted to meet you for a long time, and he even calls him, calls him the Lord of Bastards. I forgot if he said Prince or Lord, but it's basically kind of interchangeable, but he's like, I've been waiting to meet you. Holy shit. I have no clue what's going on, and honestly, there isn't really an answer. Mm-hmm. Like, why is he here? Why is he, like, wanting to... Well, I mean, again, he's here because he winnows them to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
But what did you think about this interaction between them?
Well, yeah, that's true, because I didn't know what the queen wanted with him, other than when she found out what he knew, she really didn't need him anymore, really.
And I don't think she figured out anything. Honestly, I don't think so. Like, literally, Eris
You don't think he said anything to her?
Because I don't think he knew anything. I don't think he knew enough to, like, actually confirm anything.
Which is probably another reason why Reese kept him in the dark about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so, like, or not enough.
Well, I kind of figured out Ball that he knew something, but he didn't maybe knew everything, but he knew something.
But I guess, like, in the sense of, I mean, I guess since he had, like, the maid dagger on him, she knew that, like, another maid thing was created. But I honestly think he was literally just there to get them to come. Like,
I mean, she was like Queen Braylon was so obsessed with her revenge on Nesta that she probably didn't even bother to ask Eris.
She just wanted Cassian so that she could use him against her. That's
she knew that if she took Eris, they were watching him anyway.
They would come for him, yes.
They would come for him, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's
That
like
makes
just
sense.
humiliating for Eris, though.
That he was just used as a Daphne in the situation.
He wasn't even questioned.
He was a pawn, yeah.
Which, I mean, he does kind of, like, get really insecure at the end for.
Yeah.
He's like, what? But I think the Koschei thing was interesting because he wasn't threatening. Like, again, if this was, like, some evil villain, I mean, again, he could be kind of like a charming villain and conceiving, but, like, conniving, I mean. It's almost just like he's just intrigued by them. And I don't know why. Like, it doesn't seem very evil to me. Again, I think he's using Briellen to a means to an end, but...
I mean, and specifically, one thing that stood out to me was Koschei specifically addressed Azrael of, like, it's nice to meet you, Shadow Singer. And, like, that's when Azrael freaks out and he's like, oh shit, run.
Well, yeah, it's almost like his shadows are afraid of those shadows.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen Azrael interact with any of the shadow creatures. Maybe he can see them in a way that the others can't, or, like...
I mean, and I have a theory that, like, Koschei could technically be related to the Shadow Singers, which, like, similar to how Lanthus was, like, the father of the Bogs. So it's like, is Koschei a father of the Shadow Singers?
I think it's kind of up in the air, and I do have this at the end, so if you want to have time to think about an answer. But I just thought the setup was phenomenal. I was, like, definitely underestimated Briellen hard for this. Like, I did not think she was thinking chess moves 5 steps ahead, but she did realize that Nesta's downfall, or her weakness, quote unquote, is for Cassian and her friends and her loved ones. So it was easier to get to Cassian than to get to the sisters, the original sisters. And then, of course, you know, she didn't really care. I mean, she did care, but Cassian was the main target. Yeah. And so the only reason Koschei is there is to see them and then winnow Briellen and Cassian up to the top of the mountain.
Right, because Azrael grabs Eris and flies off.
Yeah, Azrael finagles a way to get... Well, because then that's when Cassian gets enthralled by the crown, and then he's stuck. Versus, yes, Azrael and Eris escape. So that was kind of like the filler of that and the setup. But here's, like, the final, like, stretch of this. At least for the Blood Rite.
So they decide, the trio, the girls, decide that, yes, they're going up the mountain, and then they decide not to go one of the easy paths. They decide to go on the path called the Breaking, which was the path that the original Bat Boys took.
Yeah, ROGs and Analius himself. It's like
himself.
The path of Analius.
And instead of one of the easy ones that would take forever, basically go straight up is basically what the Breaking is. And so they decide to, so they go up there, and it's really difficult. It's like, it's fairly steep on most of it. It's not 90 degree. You know, they're definitely using their hands to scramble up, and Gwen is struggling because...
Still hurt.
she's still hurt, and there's probably infection setting in at this point. And like you said, they have no food, no water, nothing. And it's the last day too.
Yeah, they only have like until like, well, yeah, because they have, is it till sunset?
They have till sunset.
Till sunset to make it to the top and touch it.
And yeah, so as they're going up there, they finally make it to the Pass of Analius, which is like an arch built into the stone. Like it's a natural arch. And it basically is a bottleneck kind of pass, where the valley comes into a bottleneck or opening up again to the last final stretch of it. And they make it there, and they're trying to figure out of like, how do we keep going up, when suddenly Bellius returns.
Yes.
And so, unfortunately, Bellius did not die to the creature, and now he has all of his men, and they're, like, charging girls. And so, Nesta and the girls have this moment of, like, no, we promise, like, we're gonna make it all the way up together. We're gonna make it together. We're gonna fight together. Mm-hmm. But Nesta looks at, not Emery. Well, Emery too, but...
because Emery's out of juice, too.
Yeah, looks at Gwen and Emery, and she's like, no, you two can't fight. Emery, I need you to take Gwen up. Gwen gets upset about that. Nesta basically knocks her out.
Yeah.
Using the technique Cassian taught her about
like,
knuckle out.
I'm sorry.
It's like, I'm sorry. Emery, take her up. She's going to be mad, yes, I know, but take her up, and I'm going to hold out the rest of these so you can reach the top. Mm-hmm. Self-sacrifice. So I'll pause there for a second. Like, what do you think of them deciding to take the breaking path? And the Pass of Analius, and Bellius showing up again, and basically her pushing her two sisters to go finish without her.
Yeah, I thought that was it was sad in a way that I wanted to see her make it to the top as well. But, she knew what she had to do. And even though she made it out, or they made it without her, she still won anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And she was going to know that. And then Bellius, he's just a dick anyway, so he was just a...
It was an interesting chain of events, because it was like, they see them gaining on them, and it's like, fuck, we gotta make a decision. And if you guys literally can't do it, I'll do it. The fact that she, like, monos every fucking person before Bellius even shows up is that she's like, she draws a line in the sand, and it's like a reminder. So again, this is literally what Analius did. That's why this path exists, is that's like exactly what Analius did.
And that's why specifically, like, this part of the valley is called Pass of Analius, just because, like, this is where he did the exact same thing. He bottlenecked his enemies, fought them off, just because his friends were at his back.
And we don't necessarily know why that, again, we don't know the history or lore behind that shit, but it's like it's almost like, especially in the text, it was another moment of big shit's happening, because she's symbolizing a line in the sand similar to what he did, and then fighting them off. Mm-hmm. But of course, she does get fucked up by Bellius pretty hard.
Yeah, because she faces off against, like, all of the men, but then she wears herself down. She's already tired from the week, which is what Braylon wanted. Mm-hmm. And then she faces Bellius, and it's difficult. It's a difficult fight.
It's rough. Like, head slamming, like, getting cut up and shit.
Dizziness and almost losing consciousness, but, like, refusing to go back over that line.
She keeps standing.
Yeah, she keeps
getting up, yeah.
Which seems to be pissing him off.
He's mad.
As you mentioned of Kosche winnowing Cassian and Braylon. Braylon kills Bellius of, like, he served his purpose. And then she basically has Cassian attack Nesta.
The worst thing that could have happened. So, like, the girls make it to the top. She's good. She kind of is like, Bellius is about to kill her. And she's like, okay, my friends made it. I'm ready for death. This is a worthy sacrifice.
They were, like, zapped away once they touched the stone.
They teleported, which they never explained that. They never explained they got teleported, but fair. So they're officially Corinthian.
Yeah.
And yeah, Braylon just fucking kills her own guy, because she's just, because she wants to kill her.
She wants her dramatic moment of, like, mwahaha. Get out of my way, pawn. Mwahaha.
I think the fact that she used Cassian against her was fucked, but also
that was her plan.
The best move she could have done, because she's not going to want to hurt him.
And she doesn't. She doesn't fight back from him. Not really. She blocks from time to time, but she doesn't fight back. And then eventually he gets her in a hold and has a knife, a dagger of sorts.
He finally gets her, like, we're in a compromising position, and then of course she monologues.
Yeah, that was the last part. So yeah, Braylon monologues and basically does her evil plan that all villains do, like shares her evil plan and all that sort of stuff.
Or like what she did to get to this point. Like, you think this didn't happen because of da-da-da, like
exposing all of it. And then basically she instructs Cassian to stab her with the dagger, and he doesn't. Instead, he turns the dagger back on himself, which that takes strength because he is going against the crown. He's going against the power of the crown, the mind control of the crown.
Of a god.
Basically. And he's able to do that all because of, like, I refuse to stab Nesta. I refuse to stab my mate. So he turns the dagger towards himself.
I will say that's an SJM thing, though, where I think that, like, mates cannot physically hurt each other.
Yeah. So it gives them strength to not hurt each other.
It's like the one person who they can't hurt.
Yeah, but they use them she uses them against one another, it seems like.
Seems like
Tries to.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like no one told
But she's willing to die.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, kill me. I know this isn't you, but like, she's just like, if anyone's going to do it, I want it to be you.
She like is like turned around in his arms and she's like, it's okay, Cassian. I love you. You can kill me.
I love you. Oh my God. Yeah, she does say that there.
She's like, I love you. It's okay. It's okay.
I do not want to forget though the fact that she's just, my mate taught me well. I was like lying and shaking my boots. I was just like, yes!
She called it.
She called him, yes! And then of course that happens. And then she thinks he's dead.
Yeah. Because he actually stabs himself.
Well, and it's like almost like a gut like situation. I don't think he like stabbed himself here. It was kind of like here, yeah.
And then basically the moment that like she's like, oh shit, Cassian's dead, she unleashes herself on Briellen and
she screams.
Yeah.
She screams. And just...
She tackles her.
So, no. So, when she screams, literally that thing that Amryn said that was going to happen, happens. She unleashes all of that. The thing that she was supposed to do against Hybern back in the third book, she just unleashes her full cauldron power. She literally withers her to death. She annihilates her.
Or it goes actually the other way, because she uses her power and she unmakes Briellen.
Yes.
She like goes backwards rather than like turning an old crone to dust. She goes backwards and she becomes young again, and then she gets younger, and then she's suddenly non-existent.
Literally just dust.
Yeah.
Fucking badass. I was like, the thing that I put it in the notes as this because I remember Amryn specifically saying, when you erupt, girl, make sure it's heard across worlds.
Right.
That's actually something that's in the text where like she says the mountains heard from like here to here and the ocean heard this. This is a defining moment.
This is gonna come up later, probably. So, what did you think of Nesta versus Cassian, Cassian's sacrifice, and then literally Nesta unmaking Briellen?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. What she did to her. Yeah, Queen wanted to be young again. Yeah,
she got her wish
again.
For a few seconds.
But then, with her and Cassian, I thought that was. I didn't want him to die.
Were you afraid he would?
Kind of. But then, as the way goes, I figured, well, maybe he's not. You know.
Well, yeah, because he's gone, and then all of a sudden she's like turning him over, and she's like, and then he's fine, and she's like,
I thought it'd be better if I didn't move, considering the power you were using.
Well, yeah, that was another thing too. That he was like, I'm just gonna stay down and watch this shit go down.
I'm not gonna move because like you seemed very upset.
Right.
But of course, obviously, their happiness is very short-lived. They're like happy they went through all this. The queen, ding dong, the queen is dead. And this whole last part, like I knew that this last part was going to be crazy because I think we all kind of forgot that the baby thing was a thing after this whole blood rite.
Yeah.
Because then all of a sudden, Moore appears, winnows in. She's just like, Feyre is literally dying right now. You guys need to show up.
Right.
And exactly what happened. She can't cut into her. There's too much bleeding. She's literally on death's door.
They have the baby out. The baby's not alive.
Oh, so Maja does finally get the baby out, but it is like, and the fact that it like says it was sickly, it was not even just like the gray that a normal baby is when it comes out, but like kind of dead, like almost like it died, a miscarriage situation.
Right.
Or a stillbirth, is that what they call it? I think it's a stillborn. Yeah. And it's like she's literally dying. Rhys is screaming on his knees. Everyone is like crying, and Nesta just has this epic as fuck summons all of the objects of the Dread Trove to her. Crown, mask, harp, and all. And she plucks the final string.
Because she remembers that Gwen once said that the final string is said to stop time.
Stop time. And not only does she stop time, but she stops death itself from taking both of them. Because, like, the thing is, she actually dies.
Yeah.
Feyre does die because then, like, Rhys says something about, like, how he feels like he's about to go.
Yeah. Which is wild that there's a delay there.
Yeah, it wasn't instantaneous death. Maybe because she was like dying.
Well, it said that she took her final breath just as the
and then it's
string
still.
plucked.
And holy shit. Just first of all, what did you think about that before I get into the actual vision?
Well, I kind of figured that since she was going to be the only one to save, because she had the most power. When she had crown, the harp, math, everything, that she was going to be the only one to save, and she did. So yeah.
It was epic, not in the way that I thought it was going to be. Again, I don't know how she would have been saved, but it was
heart-wrenching.
I mean, the thing is, like, a lot of us, like, it seemed like she was marked for death.
Yeah.
Heavily.
Is SJM going to actually kill her? The one she spent 3 books building up?
Well, that's true, too, when she got done. Yeah, but Reese had seen death way early on. And he didn't know what about it. You know what I mean?
I think it's the fact that she has a vision of, like, she's pleading. It's almost like she's in an empty room, but she's pleading to anybody. Kind of like Feyre was in, like, Akamath, pleading to anyone to save them.
Yeah.
Right.
And the mother shows up. The legit mother. Like, she actually is talking to her. The goddess.
Has a hand on her shoulder and is like,
she's basically saying, again, like, kind of the short, quick, the Spark Notes version, is you could hold the world with your power. Why? She's like, I don't want it if my sister can't live.
I mean, I think the part that, like, I guess, quote unquote, summons the mother is, like, Nesta is crying and, like, hugging Feyre, saying, I'm sorry, take it back. Like, you can have it back. Praying for, like, all that.
I always thought that was their mom, but maybe it wasn't.
It could be. We don't know. It very well could be, Daddy.
Yeah, they never really said who it was.
Well,
it was a warm voice.
We also don't see her. Like, she's just there.
So I figured that might have been.
Well, I think she's also talking to the cauldron because, like, the thing is, the mother and the cauldron are kind of intertwined. And so she's like, take it. Well, so she does initially reach out. She's like, help me, like, anyone.
Right.
And then she's like, no, I don't want to, like, just take it back. If that's the price, take back my magic. I don't care about it.
Right.
Once again, proving over again that, like, Nesta isn't really a bad person. Like, she'll give up her she does not care about power. She's a powerhouse already without her magic. I mean, that was literally the blood right. So basically, yes, the cauldron takes back the magic that was taken from it. In exchange, there's a new deal now on her back. So that star that Cassian had that they both had is now on her back again. It's specifically the deal she made with the cauldron, not with the mother, because that's what it says in the text, is that it was made with the cauldron. And whether or not it's the cauldron and the mother bringing them both back to life, but yes, she brings back the baby and Feyre and makes it so that only, and this is again a point of contention, only makes Nesta changes her, like, sex organs so that this won't happen to her. Does not change Elaine, though.
No, just her and Feyre.
Just her and Feyre, which automatically means she's not going to be with him.
True. Changes their pelvises, too, so that wings could fit out.
Yes. So that if Feyre and Rhys had this happen to them, this would never happen again.
How smart.
What a smart deal. Yeah, like, very fake.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't going to happen, like, save them from death, but also make sure it doesn't happen again.
Right.
But, very much so, the mother specifically, leaves a kernel of magic to Nesta. So she's not necessarily powerless. But so, very much so that she can still use the Dread Trove. This is open-ended, but, like, basically this is what this is saying, is that she can still use it because she still has that kernel of magic. Yeah. And she was still made, so I don't really think her power would really matter there, but because the mother was very gracious in seeing what she did for her sister. And I think it was the final, I'm sorry to Feyre for all that I've done. And honestly, like, what a good, I like to say show not tell, what a good way of apologizing and saying, well, actually, she doesn't say I love you to Cassian first, she says it to Feyre first.
That's true. She's like, I'm sorry, I love you.
And she's like, I love you. Which never heard your sister say.
She always give her grief.
Yeah, a half wild beast is what she used to call him. So what did you think about the cauldron, the deal, the whole, like, what I just kit and caboodle of what I just said?
Well, I thought that was, tit for tat. I mean, what's what she wanted, so yeah.
I
thought it was all right.
Sound more enthusiastic.
I just didn't want to see them dead, and I'm like, dang, gone it. Yeah, that was a relief to go through the whole thing, and then I knew she was going to have a hand in it some.
Mhm.
but I wasn't sure how.
I don't think any of us kind of thought this was going to happen.
Yeah, I was kind of, reading the book, going through it. Her getting all the 3 pieces that she needed, she was going to have to use them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the fact that they foreshadowed if you used them all, you would go mad.
Yeah.
Like no one's used all of them, or like
Well, that's true now. What's going to happen to them? They got to go where the cauldron is.
exactly. And now that the cauldron has all its magic, what the fuck is it's gonna do?
Well, yeah, is it going to fucking open up and go
Or
do all kinds of shit?
Mad, you see the mother.
Or is the mother gonna have more of like a? There's so many theories to bring up, but I will say what's also not only rekindling Feyre's relationship, but Reese's.
Mm-hmm.
Reese gets down on his knees and like thanks her. The
Right,
only person who
right.
we bend to is someone who saved his wife.
Well, yeah, like the last time he wanted to kill her.
That's true. That's true.
He did.
And then
And
the
then
next
now
time
he's
he
just
sees
like,
her, thank you.
honestly, I'm just going to say this out loud. Kind of all forgiven.
Mhm.
Like, you literally saved her and her son. I think you give a pass.
It's like, and I just love the fact more that, like, even though he bows to no one but him, like, in his crown. But, like, then she gets on her knees, too, and gives him a hug.
She hugs him. That's so sweet.
Now they're family.
Yeah.
In love, yes. He's just like, she's like, no. Literally has that moment of like, I don't want you like below me. I want you like on the same level as me. That's all I've ever wanted.
Yeah.
And then of course we get, happy wife, happy life with Nesta and Cassian. They're finally happy. She says, I love you. Cassian, however, does not say I love you. And some people speculate about that, but I think that's looking way too much into it. He has said I love you in more ways than one to her without saying it.
She tells him about her pelvis change.
And he's like, wait, you're ready to have kids? She's like, no. I'm taking the fucking birth control. Like, no.
Hell no, I want you to myself for a while.
So they're finally happy. Reese is setting up a happy wedding ceremony for them. And then, honestly, Daddy, I think this ending... Well, obviously, they run into Gwen and Emery. They're like, oh my god, we got teleported. Oh my god, you're alive. Also, bitch, never do that again.
Gwen is pissed, but also relieved.
Relieved she's okay. But I think what really made this ending scene so good is that the sisters, again, very tentative as it is, goes together to the father's gravesite with obviously Cassian overhead, but it's like this final step into the light for her of like, finally this shit is over. Again, stuff is going to happen in the future, but I think I can finally go and grieve Dad.
And the very first...
Yeah, it was closure for them, or her.
Mm-hmm. The very first episode chapter of the book brought up the grave and how she didn't go. And now the final bit, and she does go.
That was part of closure for her, I think. So, yeah.
And I think it was beautifully done. But I think it was a perfect way to end the book. Again, SJM is kind of the queen of that kind of thing. It's not ending on a cliffhanger or anything. Enough is wrapped up. Again, we have so many questions, so much more like lore and things that this brings up and that we could like go on and on about. That's why people still talk about this series to this day. Since 2021 when this book came out.
4 years.
So I just want to say that she has a great way of ending books.
Yeah.
Of like, it's closure enough. So just, I mean, you liked the closure, but it's like, it's new family, but also
found family.
It's like building these new, the old family dynamic she had while also bringing in the new sisters.
Right. Oh, I think it was a way to end it, yeah. Yep.
So yes, that's the official end of Silver Flame. Again,
Insane.
Obviously the graphic audio was amazing. Obviously, Liesl will have these things for you. But I just wanted to, before we end it, I wanted to thank you for coming on this journey with us. I mean, again, you're not going anywhere. You're obviously going to be reading Throne of Glass with us. You will like it. I know the graphic audio isn't out yet, but I just wanted to thank you for coming along this far, that you also love this series as much as we do and like to talk about it. Regardless if you're screaming like me, I know you're excited. I can tell that you like these books. And so, I mean, obviously you wouldn't be here if you didn't, but I hope you enjoyed this series.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Which is very rare. I think this is Dad's first romantasy.
Each one had their different things to it, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still more left. I mean, she can go on and on and on if she wants to.
Yeah, basically.
So.
Yep. So before we end the episode, we just had 2 questions for you because obviously we've talked about a lot of our theories throughout this season and also throughout all of our other seasons as well for ACOSF. But just a couple here. We actually had a theory that, so if you remember, there are 3 sacred mountains in Prithian. There's the mountain in the middle, which is where Under the Mountain was. There's the mountain that has the prison, and then Ramiel is the third sacred mountain. And Under the Mountain obviously has it's like a throne room palace kind of thing.
It's a whole actual building. It's like a palace underneath.
It's like a sacred meeting place.
There's tunnels and shit too. Like it's
your waterways that you like to talk about. And then the prison obviously has the prison underneath it. So we have a theory that potentially there could be something hidden under Ramiel. Do you think there could be maybe some kind of like building underneath Ramiel, something hidden under there that we might see?
Or inside of it.
Or inside of it, yeah.
That's a good thought. It doesn't really say anything. It talks about him just going up it, but there could be. I mean, I don't know.
I think it was because it was the fact that, like, and especially because Eris brought it up. The only reason I also bring it up is because it's one of the biggest theories in ACOTAR, besides the romance, is that because Ramiel is sacred and that people aren't allowed to be there unless it's the blood right, that they've never explored it. They've never dug into the side and seen maybe what's inside of it. So
I personally think it could be a tomb, like maybe Aenelius' tomb or the first king's tomb.
Or there's some shit in there.
Maybe that's where some of them monsters are coming out of too.
Maybe the nest. Maybe there's a portal, bro. I can believe there's a portal there.
Well, they already talked about having caves.
That's true.
So
probably a lot of caves in the mountain.
Yeah,
right.
I just think of the crudes. Yes, caves, sticks and caves.
Yeah, I wanted to know.
I wanted to know if they're in the prison. Were they still people in that, or did they get?
Oh, you mean in the walls?
Right.
We do have some theories on that in some of the episodes that you can now go listen to.
Yes, now Daddy can listen to all of those theory episodes and come back to us.
You can hear all of our theories on those now.
Right. That will be plenty. That will cure your ACOTAR hangover for sure, since you're done reading it.
Yes, it'll fill in all the extra gaps. And then just our final question is, are there any theories that you have that you wanted to talk about, that you wanted to bring up?
Well, I thought, one we shot down earlier about Az and the one girl getting together.
Oh, Emery?
Emery, if she's gay, that ain't gonna happen. It'll probably be the other girl.
Gwen.
They'll probably get together.
Shutting it down. It's more just so like what I've read, but
maybe Emery and Moore get together.
I could totally think that.
Hell, if she wanted to have backstory on them and a backstory on Az, it could go on and on and on.
I feel like just Emery and Moore have more in common with dude, Kira was probably abusive as fuck. I mean, he literally nailed a fucking board into her.
Trauma bonding.
So I could maybe see them having more to bond over than just the women thing. Yeah.
Well, Moore talked about being in love with that one lady, and then she got married and stuff. So
yeah.
But Emery don't really talk about that. But I don't.
That's just I think that's what makes me give her lesbian vibes, is that she's just like, ugh, man, whatever. And the fact that she's just so casual about it and doesn't really she'll talk about guys when it comes to Cassian and Nesta and making fun of them all throughout this section, but she just gives me lesbian vibes.
She wasn't all that satisfied with Helion.
Oh, you were talking about Moore. I was talking about Emery.
Oh.
I was going to say Emery and Helion. God, could you imagine them three?
Other than that, I don't have any other theories.
You don't have any theory. I mean, you don't have to is there anything you think about what's going to be the next book? Where do we go from here? What is the next threat? What's the next?
Probably Asriel's backstory, probably.
Asriel's backstory. I mean, Kosjay seems like the easiest, out to be he's the next bad person in the next section. Just because Vasa's left open, Vasa is tied to Lucian is tied to Elaine and Asriel. It just seems like all of them are kind of intertwined enough to that would make sense that they're going to be the highlight of the next book. It just seems like that's where it's going.
Yeah.
Well, or another backstory, and you guys talked to it on your one podcast about Papa Archeron and how Lucian found them and they found everybody found everybody, and that backstory coming back and saying, okay, well, this is what he did when he was away. So he wasn't doing nothing.
Right.
Especially if we get Lucian's perspective, kind of in a similar way to Lucian, to Elaine as Nesta Cassian. I wonder if he'll bring that up, or maybe he'll regale to Elaine the story of what happened.
So that could be another backstory that they do.
A lot of backstories.
It just seems like they're the center of it. There's no question to me that they're not going to be the center of the next book. But she's also said that she was making the sisters' perspectives back in an interview, so it's clear.
The other sister, I mean, maybe she goes with her. But right now she's not doing shit anyway. I don't know.
True.
Definitely not. So
Other tender to her garden or something. I don't know. That's about it.
I feel so bad because it's just like, we're not that we can't make fun of her, but that like she is just kind of leading a.
Well, we kind of shit on Nesta at first, and then
Yeah,
became badass at the end.
So honestly, I hope Elaine becomes a badass. Like I really hope so.
I hope she doesn't become an evil badass.
But I will say though that just because, even though we love powerful women, you can still be a powerful woman, but not like be a fighter
or not be a good person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying that there's powerfulness in other ways. You don't necessarily have to be a fighter for that to be the case. But irregardless. So I'm really glad you enjoyed, Daddy. Thank you so much for being on. We always love this. It's kind of, a little bit a tear running down my face of like, I'm going to miss this series, but also I'm glad I got to share it with you.
Oh, you're welcome. That was fun.
Because I'm glad. He is really having a good time. So yes, before I go into my outro, I just want to say thank you guys all for staying until the end of the episode. I have 3 more Molly B's facts for you. I have the founder was a single mom from Alaska. It's a national sensation featured on Food Network, Martha Stewart Living, and was at the Grammy Awards. I didn't even know they had Grammy Awards for cookies. But like, no, to each their own. And then, of course, like this is a perfect gift idea for anybody. So please, again, it's a 10% discount at mollybees.com. So that's bz.com under the TFBW podcast promo code. Again, on the socials. And again, thank you so much for listening. This is part 1 of our kind of overall deep dive with Dad. And then the next episode is going to be with the moms, which we're excited about. Thank you guys for watching and supporting us. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Please follow the Discord. It's in the description, so that we've been definitely upping the Discord more and more. And so I'm happy we're building this community together. Mm-hmm. And again, if you really do want to support us, go to those sponsorships, the Torain one or Molly B's. It really does support us with commissions and for more sponsorships to come. But also, if you do want to support us in another way that isn't payment, you can always please go into the description and like rate and review the podcast. It does actually help us a lot.
Yes.
And it gets us seen a lot in the algorithms, because you know how fucking fishy those algorithms are. Yeah. So again, and also if there's people who really love ACOTAR, please share this with them. We're about to be done with ACOTAR, so they could literally binge watch this series from start to finish.
5 whole seasons.
5 whole seasons. So
over 80 episodes.
Yes, over 80 episodes. So is there anything want to say to the audience before we leave?
Stay happy, stay healthy.
Yes.
Drink water, eat food, get sleep. All the important things that sometimes it's easy to forget.
That we forget to do.
Yes.
Yeah, so we will see you guys all in our last episode of season 5. Dear God, I can't believe I said that. So we'll see you all in the next episode. Bye, guys. Hey, are you going to say bye, Daddy?
Bye.
As the years go